see how this works now. Audio lapel. We've got okay. All right, there we go. Sweet. Welcome back, everybody. We did it. I think figured it out. Thanks to Tion. Thank you so much, Tion. I appreciate you. It's funny. Can you tell that I'm a little tired because I'm missing some things? But then again, I mean, this is normal for the Speakeasy Brewer, right? Well, anyways, welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. Today is Brew Day, and Tion's amazing for helping me out. I've got my coffee over there. My whiteboard is not really filled out as it normally is because I just don't have time anymore to do all that stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on. So we're brewing today. Today we are doing the wedding beer number 2 for my friend. His wedding reception is coming up here in about a month, a little more than a month and 1 week, I guess. Anyways, had to do brew day today because it needs 3 weeks to ferment, 1 week to condition, and then it's wedding. So had to happen today. Our Mexican lager that we did, was it 2 weeks ago, is in the kegerator fermenting right now. So it is looking great, and I'm really excited for it. And I did come up with the name for our IPA because it just seemed like the right thing to do. Just because I just got to show you the color for those of you who don't know. It's a little early for beer, so I'm only going to take a little sample, but I wanted you all to see. It's a beautiful IPA. So I'm calling it Sunset in Paradise. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yep, you're right. I don't have time to shave. I know it's growing out, so we'll see. Maybe the next time I stream with y'all, um, it's gonna be uh, much bigger, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully, it won't be another 2 weeks, but it might be. We'll see. Maybe I'll do some beer reviews or whatnot. Also, I gotta show you guys this. I don't know if you can see it, but check that out. My own pint glasses. Isn't that sweet? It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I could get some paper or something to put behind it. So I'm really excited about this. So for those of you who aren't, there we go. Up, there we go. Speakeasy Brewer. There we go. Oh my gosh, I can't even do it right. There we go. Speakeasy Brewer. Boom. Basically my t-shirt that we put on the pint glasses. The reason we did this is we got the pint glasses. One, because it's fun to have some merchandise. Two, tomorrow we are having a beer fundraiser. So this IPA, our Mexican lager, and then some other beers that we've made, the German Pilsner and the Irish Coffee Ale, they're all going to be going to local charities here in Salt Lake. So I can't drink enough. I don't drink enough just because I don't like getting drunk and I don't like having that much beer, even though I love beer. It's the reason why I'm here, right? It's just too much for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge people $10 per pint of beer that they want, but they're going to donate it to a local charity. So I'm not going to be touching the money. They're just going to donate to one of the charities for each pint of beer that they want, which will be cool. Because even if we just use the Mexican lager, we're going to end up with about $400 that will be donated to local charities, which is fun. We have 38 people, I think, that are supposed to be coming. So that's awesome. So the goal is also to just drain all the kegs. So that's what's going to happen. And then for these pint glasses, I'm selling these pint glasses for $10 a piece. And I'm just telling people that to pay with cash. And this is just going to support the brew day. It's going to support the beer and the brewery. So stream stuff, equipment, mostly equipment. I want to upgrade this bad boy so we can do more. Because my thinking is if we're going to be brewing beer that does good things in the community, the more beer, the more impact. So that's the whole goal. So Anyway, so I came up with a name for this since it's super citrusy, and I was thinking of, I was drinking it the other day and I was like closing my eyes and I'm like, I've never been to Hawaii, but if I was in Hawaii and I had this and I was sitting on the beach, I'm like, this is so great. But I imagined watching a sunset while drinking it. So I call it Sunset in Paradise. It's so good. So good. Anyways, so we'll see. Yeah, so tomorrow, that's what's going on. Like I said, today we're going to um, introduce Brew Baby, so that'll be fun. He's gonna make his star appearance, his first time appearance, which would be fun. Outside of the belly, of course. Brubella might say hi as well. But today, I'm just so you all know, Dion understands probably better than most, but since I have the kid, I'm gonna be kind of trying to move things about fairly quickly. So right now we got the water heating up, and it might be a little bit of a weird stream. Hey, what's up, dude? Oh, okay. So I haven't put the merch up on my Twitch store yet. Um, so I'll figure that out. I'll let you know. Because I'm gonna just put a bunch of random stuff up there at some point in time. But these pint glasses, I have 48 of them, and I kind of took your, I bet obviously basically I trust everything you say. So anytime you tell me something, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I didn't buy any growlers. I just bought pint glasses, but we're doing a fundraiser here tomorrow, and we're doing $10 a pint of, or $10 cash for the pint, and that's gonna go to support the stream / the brewery. We're just gonna start raising some money towards that because I'm ready to scale, man. That's all I know is I'm ready to scale. And I'm excited to scale, and I know that I can make more impact with my beer if I brew more. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then we're doing $10 per pint of beer. So we're just gonna drain the kegs and do all that other stuff. So yeah. Anyways, I love it, and I've already had a handful of people start asking for like more pint glasses, T-shirts, and growlers too. So I gotta do that. But anyways, thanks for the inspiration. Cheers to Dr. Hoppenstein. Also, how did the wet IPA go? First of all, I love that you're just a wealth of information that I could just tap into. Sensei. But how did the wet IPA go? That looked like so much fun, dude. Next year, I won't have a brand new baby. So next year, I would love to come out. If you give me a heads up, I would love to come out, pick some hops with you, and then brew the wet IPA with you. That'd be sweet. Plus, we got to come out to your shop at some point in time. Awesome, dude. And what was the hop? You said Chinook hops? That sounds delicious. Shoot, I might just have to fly out there and come try it if it's not drained and gone by the time I start flying again. Anyways, it's great to have you here again, man. I appreciate it. And y'all, I appreciate the patience and just the understanding with preparing for a baby, which is part of the reason why I haven't been streaming as much. And now I have a baby, so my streams are going to change. I'm going to hopefully do one brew day a month, but we'll see. But I was thinking of what I would like to do is start working through the beer judge certification like manual, where it talks about every style of beer, and then I was just going to work my way through that because one, it's going to help me learn, and two, I think it'd be fun to just like show you the depth of the rabbit hole that you can go down with beer, because it's crazy. And Dr. Hoppenstein, I know you already know that. So anyways, today's the IPA day. Unfortunately, it's not a wet IPA. That's what I really want to do. And again, like I said already, if I'm not interacting a whole ton, I apologize. I'll try and stop and do stuff. I'm probably not going to explain a whole lot of things as much this time around, just because I am trying to do this quickly because baby's asleep right now. I have to prepare for the fundraiser thing tomorrow, and I got to do parenting things. So it's a whole new world. Okay, anyways, I got my mashed done getting set up. We got the false bottom in there. I got to go get some very important tools. I know you know at least what one of those tools are. I think it was Swine Hunter who told me that I needed to get some bear paws with my logo on it. Anyways, so there's that. Okay, hey, I gotta go grab some things. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music, talk amongst yourselves, and then I'll break down a few things that we're gonna be going over today here in a moment. So just bear with me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what's going on. I just walked by and I saw all these crazy things. Emote Sam chat party. Oh, thanks. I appreciate the scruff. Yeah. Whoa, there's 7 people here. I didn't even. That's crazy. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. I'm sorry you jumped on when I was gone, but welcome. It looks like Tion gave you some some entertainment in the chat. So, for those of you who just jumped on or are new to this channel, welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. We brew beer here. We drink beer here. Anything that's beer, we do here. I'm hoping to learn a whole lot. Hey, Rob with 2Bs, welcome, welcome. Dude, I have to just do a quick shout out to you because for those of you who don't know Rob with 2Bs, he has a baking channel. Got to check it out. But yesterday was so epic because he wore his Comic-Con outfit. And I'm not a Demon Hunter. I haven't watched Demon Hunter. I just don't watch a lot of TV or stream or anything. But it's on my list of things to watch on Netflix. Fair warning. But Robert 2Bs was in full cosplay yesterday. He was so hot yesterday because he's like, I don't know. I thought he was Fire Lord from like Avatar. That's what I thought he was trying to do. But he was somebody from Demon Hunter. So anyways, hey, Mocha Moo Bear, what's up? Thanks for being here and totally fine with the lurking. You guys are awesome. I have to pause. Today's kind of going to be one of those days where I'm going to be like moving kind of fast because I've got a kid. So, and taste a lot of beer here. Oh yes, thank you. Yes, we do. We do taste lots of beer here. We're going to be tasting a new one today that I haven't had before. And that one is, it's going to be, we're going to shoot for doing a Shiner today. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm watching the temp. Whoops, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Okay, so right now, for those of you who are trying to figure out what I'm doing, I'm heating up some water right now. That's going to go in the mash tun. And we're going to mix our grains in here shortly. So I already went like ahead of y'all. Normally I don't start boiling until I'm streaming. But what I'm trying to do right now, and don't worry, you're not missing anything important. I'm just dumping water in. I know it's so exciting to watch me pour water, boiling water, hot water into this thing. What I'm doing right now is I'm just getting the water from the boil pot into our mash tun. We're going to mix our grains in, which I'm going to go get here in a second, and then we're going to let it steep. And that's when we're going to do a beer tasting. And at some point in time, we'll bring Brew Baby out. He's feeding right now. You're right. The boiling is the most fun part. Everything leading up to the boiling is kind of like, nah. So I just drink beer, talk about it, we taste things, we talk about random stuff. That's what we do here. But what I do need to do is I need to I just realized that I don't. Hold on one second. I have this tool that I use on my computer to determine how much water I need for my mash. It's 5, 13.10, 1.068. I'm just throwing numbers out there. You guys don't, it's not even important to you. The only person who probably even understands what I'm saying is Dr. Oppenstein. 152, calculate. Okay, I need 4 gallons. Okay. We're using 13 gallons or 13 pounds of grains today. 13.10 pounds of grains. Most of that is our pale malt, which is what we call in the brew world our base malt. So there are several types of base malts you can use. I mean, obviously it depends on the beer that you're doing. So like if you're doing a Pilsner or a lager, you might go for a lighter grain that is like a Pilsner malt. Or if you're doing an IPA like we're doing today, you're going to probably go for something along the lines of a pale malt. You can, and there's so many different variations of base malt grains that you can do. So there's Pilsner malt, but it's like there's several types of Pilsner malt. And then you got the pale malt. I know I've seen Vienna malt used as a base malt. It just, and the whole point of the base malt is to add the most amount of sugar that you're going to use for creating the alcohol in your beer. It's going to be the base color and everything else. And then after you do your base malt, then you start adding specialty malts. And specialty malts are going to bring in the extra color and the extra flavor, like the caramels, the chocolates, the coffee, just the sweeter things. And then it's going to bring in the color, right? So pale malt is, so for today, our beer is going to be a 6.8 SRM. That's just a color rating that we use. And so the lower the number, the lighter it is, the higher the number, the darker it is. Okay. And as you all know, we deal with a lot of hot equipment here at the Speakeasy Brewer. So I highly recommend that when you touch hot items, you always use protection and use your bare hands. Okay, yes, that's not, oh, woo. Okay, slow and steady, slow and steady. Or give it a little bit more. Okay. So I want to protect the temperature because we are shooting for a mash temperature of 152 degrees Fahrenheit. We had a strike water, which is our water we just put into the mash tun. That's called our strike water. We had 163 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll explain all that here in a second. But I'm going to go get the grains now because that's important. I was keeping it inside to keep it nice and cool. Sip more than usual. You're a dad now. That means you. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. Yep. The man cold. No longer allowed. No longer allowed to have the man cold. Anyways, I'm going to go get the grains. I'll be right back and we're going to get this show on the road. Alrighty, so we got our grains. So, couple things. We're going to stir these bad boys in. So this is what we call the dough in or mash in. There's several ways of even saying it. So we're going to be doing that here. And this is all of our grains. Look at this, 13 pounds of grains. Beautiful. And it smells so good. Hold on, dude. Yoshi Kichi, dude, welcome. Man, it's been forever ever since you've been on. Thanks for jumping on. It's great to see you again. And welcome. Hopefully things are good. Things are good. Dude, it's great to see. Thanks for jumping on. It's so great to see you. Let me just make sure we got this because I want you all to see what I'm going to be doing here. We're going to turn on the lights and the camera is on. This is my, I'm not trying to have a German accent, just so you're aware of, but what's going on. All right, so let's take a quick peeky. Okay. You guys see that? Okay, cool. So we're gonna put the grains in right now. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stir it after the fact because I only have 2 hands and I need to make sure that nothing gets wasted. We're gonna just pour our grains in. This is one of my favorite parts, honestly. Like, the whole mash process takes some time, and that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is the smells. I'm sure it's the same for you, Dr. Hoppenstein, but the smells are fantastic. So you see we have a lot of dry grain, and we crushed it. And so there's a reason why we crush it, and that is mostly to, if I can even think right now, we want to have there be more surface area for the grain to touch. There might be some more, there is more science behind it. I can't even think of what I'm trying to say right now. Dr. Hoppenstein, feel free to help me out. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Hoppenstein is a pro brewer, so I feel really lucky to even have him as a follower. I don't even feel worthy to have him as a follower. He's probably, but he's taught me a lot already. He's a wealth of knowledge, but yeah, it's awesome. So we crush it. That just helps us have a better efficiency with the mash. Allows us to have more surface area with the grain. And you don't want it to be too crushed, and you don't want it to be not crushed enough. Like, it has to crush in order for the process to work correctly. It's called saccharification. So let's see, those are bubbles. So, okay. Okay, 153, that's pretty darn close. All right, I'm gonna set the timer real quick. I always use this this laser thermometer. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll check out the text or the messages here in a second. Yeah, I'm only knowledgeable in wine. I can't help with beer. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that you did the whole, you were like a wine salesman for a while. That's pretty awesome. It's right, I know. It's the newest Twitch mod. If you have it, it allows you to smell the things that are being made in on live stream. But yeah, the smell of the grain is absolutely fantastic. And I see there's more chats. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to set my timer. So we're going to let this run for about an hour. And then after an hour, we're going to rinse it, put it into the boil pot. We're going to get things rolling from there. Let me check out the chats. Gion's going to be back. Smells good over Twitch. Hey, Swine Hunter. Oh, dude, welcome. I'm going to try one of the Shiner beers that you brought last time. I wanted to see if I could find that cactus one. I think we're going to do that one. Yeah, burnt grain is really great. It gives me that feeling that I'm going to get something in a month. I know, right? Yes, totally. Yes. And, oh, man, the grains are great. And, okay, so before you put the grains in the mash tun, it already smells good, right? Like, when you put them in, you're like, it smells so good. But, man, after it sits in there for an hour in that hot water, oh, it is, my mouth is watering just thinking of it. It is off the charts. It's off the charts. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to heat up the rest of our water. The next water batch that we're heating up, it's called our sparge water. And the sparge water is going to be the water that we use to rinse our grains off. So, breathe in the lifting. No lifting with your back, lift with your legs, you know how they say. And I'm not allowed to get broken or sick or die, according to what Tion said. So that's the goal, is to not do any of those things. So anyways, let me reorganize a few things, and then let me heat this water up. And then let's chat a little bit. I also have my coffee too. I'm kind of doing all the things at once. I woke up probably like an hour and a half ago, give or take. All right, so timer's going. Let's get the water going. Okay, water's going. We're gonna basically heat it up to the same temperature as our mash water, and then we're going to use that to drain it. Okay, let me check here. Don't overstress yourself. You are doing 30 liters at a time or more. It's true. I know. It's quite a lot. And I don't want to hurt myself. I think last summer when I was doing the streaming, before Swine Hunter joined me with some of the brewing, I was doing so much lifting, and I was lifting all of these things really heavy, like lifting it up like this, but it was putting so much strain on my hand that I had like several months where like my wrist was all jacked up. Better now. So now I'm trying to like do things like this, you know, lift underneath, and obviously just try and be cautious. One day I will have like upgraded equipment, and once I have that upgraded equipment, it'll be a lot less lifting because there'll be pumps and valves and tubing and things like that that kind of moves it all for me, so I don't have to stress myself out physically to do that. But yeah, anyways, so for those of you who are just jumping on, I'm gonna just do a quick recap, okay? So we are brewing today, obviously, and today is an IPA. This IPA is version 2 of that wedding IPA from my buddy's wedding. We did a Mexican lager, was it 2 weeks ago, which is fermenting right now in my kegerator. And version 1 of the Mexican lagers in a keg in my fridge, as well as the version 1 of the IPA. They're both in my fridge right now, and we are going to be doing a fundraiser tomorrow, which is exciting. So I've got my very first pint glass. What did I use last time to show you all? Let me see if I can put a backdrop on the back. But anyways, that's what it looks like. Let's see, Speakeasy Brewer. There it is. It's kind of hard to see. Sorry, there we go. Speakeasy Brewer. It's basically my shirt, okay? And then there's the back. Okay, so you can see this is what it looks like on the back of the pint glass. And then the front of the glass is the one that I have on the gray t-shirt. So just basically put those on my pint glasses. And these pint glasses are designed, one, because it's fun to kind of have my own merchandise with my own logos on it, which is super fun. But I wanted to use it as a means to help kind of support my brewery, you know, buy ingredients, buy equipment, that kind of thing. But then the beer itself, what's going to happen with the beer is we're actually going to raise money with that beer. So I'm not going to touch it. We're just going to have like 5 or 6 charities out, and Amy is going, Rubella, she's going to make some QR codes for each of those. And so for every pint that people want to buy, they do $10 to the charity of their choice. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to try and drain those kegs, raise as much money as we can. Basically all the beer that I have in my possession, most of it, not all of it, but most of it, we're going to try and get rid of tomorrow through this event. We have 38 people that are going to be coming up, which is cool. Maybe more. So yeah, so anyways, that's what's going on. I know Swine Hunter and even Dr. Opstein was like, oh, merch. So yeah, I'll have to figure out that because I'm probably going to end up selling all of these glasses. So I'm going to get some more, so don't worry. So if it's something that you want, or you want to see something on the merchandise store, if you're a merchandise kind of person, again, there's no pressure. But if you want to see that as an option of something you can get on, I think Twitch has a merch store, or Streamlabs, I don't know, something along that line. I'll figure it out. But if that doesn't work, you just let me know what you want. I'll get it, and then I'll just find a way to ship it to you, okay? So if that's something you want, just let me know. There's no pressure. But I will be having more pint glasses here before too long. And bare hands, yes, bare hands with the Speakeasy Brewer logo on it. It's gonna happen. I might have to mock some up just so we can see what that's like. Oh, and not only should I have my logo on it, but I should have the jokes on there. When dealing with hot things, use your bare hands. These hands are unbearable. So bad, so bad. Okay, it's all right. Experts like you, I prefer you make it at home. Yeah, thanks, man. I do. I like making this stuff at home. Sorry, Yoshi. I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to your thing. I want to drink your beer, but there is no way you're going to do international shipping. I know. Only 2 followers have been able to enjoy my beer, and that's Swine Hunter and Rob with two B's. Um, so here's what I'm thinking of doing at some point in time, Yoshi. This is long-term vision. It's probably not going to happen this year, maybe not even next year, but one year I'd love to do this. But you know, at long, let me just loosen my tongue a little bit. Further on down the road, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a brewery that I have all the licensing that I need to be able to ship stuff. So then I could ship it to you technically if I had the right licensing. Otherwise, another way I could do it is if I do end up doing what I hope to do at one point is the Speakeasy Brewer World Tour. I'd love to come meet y'all, and I'll just bring some beers with me, and then we can taste test them in IRL, or you just taste them whenever you want, and then you guys take me to wherever your favorite place is, and you're like, this is my favorite beer, and then we just talk about it and we drink it. That's the plan. Yeah, yeah. Although I'm kind of sad that beer was one, a little more carbonated than I'd hoped it would be, and two, it was a little bit more sweet than I'd hoped it to be, but it's still really yummy. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, so Rob with two B's, he asked me to make a Saison. So we made a Saison, and it was my first time making it. It turned out really good. It's just a little sweet, and I overcarbonated it. So you pour it in the glass, and it's like, and it just never stops flowing. But otherwise, it was pretty good. And so I'm an airline pilot, so I flew out to him and met up with him on one of my overnights, and we got to enjoy the beer together. It was quite a lot of fun. So maybe that's how I come to y'all, is find overnights elsewhere. Although Southwest doesn't really go to Europe or Asia yet. I say that because not yet. We're getting there. Oh, okay, Yoshi, that would be awesome, Yoshi. How soon, where are you going, and when? I guess so. When and how soon are the same question, and where are you going? That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. I just want to meet you all in person. Like, I feel like doing the streaming thing and getting to know you all has been so much fun already, and then even getting to know you guys even more on the Discord chat, it's been a blast. But you guys all seem amazing, so I really want to come see y'all. December is okay. December. All right, perfect. Well, the good news about December is I'm going to be flying again. I'm on paternity leave right now, so 12 weeks, 11 weeks. I just took my first week, so 11 weeks. That's not 11. 10 plus 1. I don't have 11 fingers. That doesn't work. Yeah, we should do a Speakeasy Con. Now that's thinking down the road, man. Yeah, Speakeasy Con. I love it. That'd be so awesome. And then you just dress up in your era clothing for a speakeasy. And the best part about it is it won't be at a conference center. It would be at some undisclosed location until the very last minute, where it's like, oh, if you're coming, here is where we're meeting. Okay, we have Hedgehog Wombat. Do you make your own recipes or make other people's recipes? Hey, first of all, Hedgehog Wombat, thank you so much for jumping on and saying hello. Welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. And to answer your question, I do make my own recipes. So every recipe that I've done probably in the last year or so has been my own recipe. I have done lots of other people's recipes earlier on just to kind of get the idea of what a recipe looks like, how it works, the balance of grains and hops and that sort of thing. But every recipe that I've done live stream for them, I've created. Every once in a while, if there's a beer that I've never done before, I'll go and do some research and find other recipes just to kind of get an idea. I'm like, okay, so they're using this amount of this malt and this amount of this malt, and maybe using these hops, that kind of thing. So I'll do that for research, but currently I'm just trying to just play around with my own recipes. I'm one of those people that likes to learn from experience. So like, obviously I want to learn what other people do and what they have done recipe-wise or procedure-wise to help me improve my procedures and recipes, but I like to come up with new things. So one of my favorite beers was an Irish coffee ale, which I was basically trying to create a beer that tasted like a cold Irish coffee. It worked out really great. probably one of the best beers I've made. And same with my IPA. It was probably the best IPA I've ever made, and it was fantastic. And my German Pilsner too. My last German Pilsner, United German Pils, which was a beer that I made as a thank you to Big Juicy Cat Dump Truck. That was probably one of the best beers I've ever made. So I was really, really proud of that. So I've got 3 of those beers ready to go for a competition that happens here in Salt Lake City, Utah in October. So there's that. So I'm getting to this point where it's super exciting for me because I still have a whole lot to learn. Like, especially because I've got this system set up right now, 5-gallon system. I could probably do 10 if I could figure that out. But I really want to upgrade to like 10, 15, maybe even more. And eventually, this stream is me going through the process of becoming a professional brewer. So you follow this channel, not only are you going to see beer tastings, brew days, and like beer reviews, that kind of thing, but we're going to talk about all things beer. What was it? I think it was in, not May. I want to say it was in April or something along that line. We actually did an interview with this malting company, Solstice Malt, here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Met the guy, and we went to his facilities, me and Swine Hunter, and we interviewed him, and he showed us the whole process. It was super cool. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, like that's another thing I want to do. I also want to like go and explore all the breweries, do brew days, that kind of thing, with them and interview them and just see how they got started, that kind of thing. Just take you guys all on the journey. Yeah, heck yeah, dude, Yoshi, let's do it. And pineapple beer. Oh yeah, I forgot about the pineapple beer. Yeah, that's right. You know, I finished that up right before I put the Mexican lager in. I still had some in a keg, and I was like, man, I gotta try this. I gotta see, like, it's been several months. I thought I drank it all, but then when I picked it up, I'm like, oh, there's still more in here. And it actually tasted better. It tasted more pineapple-y after the fact. And in fact, Tion, I do need to do that again because there's a couple of things that I want to do to tweak that recipe that I think will really drive that pineapple out. There's a kveking yeast that really pumps out a strong pineapple flavor, and there's a hop that I found that has basically only pineapple flavor to it. So I have to try that. All right, let's see. Like, you can really expect ha, right. Not yet. Not yet, but soon. Yeah, I know. Hey, I have big goals, man. I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. Like, I constantly am thinking of new things to do. Sometimes it's hard. Like, for example, with the streaming thing, like I have an idea of where I want to go and how I want to do things. I think the social media aspect is probably the weakest link. I guess this is social media, technically speaking. But like, I have an Instagram. I haven't put anything on for the last 2 months, maybe more. I was on it for a while, and then I just was like, I don't do that very well. I think just, you know, I got the YouTube channel too, but it's live stream wherever I'm at. So I'm live streaming on, hey, oh my gosh. Okay, sorry I missed this. Hedgehog Wombat, thank you for the follow. You're awesome. Welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer again. And please, if you have any other questions about beer, hopefully you haven't left yet, but if you have any questions about beer or my process or anything, please ask away. If I don't know the answer, I will let you know, and I will try and look it up. And if I do know the answer, then there's that. And I'm sorry that it took me 16 minutes to notice that. I'm all over the place. But welcome to the Speakeasy family, my friend. All right, we're doing good on the temp. Oh, you're still here. Cool. Good. I try really hard to, like, there's a lot going on. So anyways, and I'm a little more scatterbrained than normal just because I had my first kid 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks as of today, 14 days ago. So he's going to make an appearance here at some point in time. I don't know when that is. He's feeding right now. But you guys will be finally introduced to the one and only Brew Baby. And he will be here probably pretty soon. So anyways, I'm so excited for you guys to see him. He's stinking cute. Oh, he's so cute. I can't believe. Well, first of all, quick shout out to all the women out there. Um, y'all are amazing. Your bodies are freaking epic. And the things that your body does without you thinking about it is amazing. And then what you go through to be able to bring human life onto the planet is insane and awesome. And you keep them alive, which is also insane and awesome. And me, as a guy, all of us guys, for the first few weeks, maybe longer, Tion, you can correct me on this. We do diapers. We're house husbands. We cook, clean, diapers, and try and give relief where we can. But otherwise, we're kind of useless. Useless. Anyways, what's that? I know. Well, if you're noticing, I'm having my coffee right now. This isn't beer. I'm going to have one beer, but I'm trying to reduce the amount that I'm drinking right now just because, well, I need to have my mind focused on the baby. I need to make sure that he's safe, my wife's safe, and the other thing too is like if anything happens and we have to go to like the doctor or emergency room or anything like that, because it's still 2 weeks in, and so we're still, I mean, baby's fine, Amy's fine, but you know, there's always things that you're watching for early on. I'm just like, I need to be okay to drive and do anything. So I haven't been drinking a whole lot lately, which is good. It's good for the liver. It's good for the body. It's good. It's good. It's good. But I'll tell you what, when you take a break from beer and then you come back and you take that first sip, it's so good. Let me tell you what. Okay, we're getting close to our temperature we want. Let me check our time real fast. For those of you who are new to the Speakeasy Brewer, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're brewing beer today. We still have 42 minutes. This is the longest part, honestly. Once we get the boiling going, it's going to be a little bit more fun because we're going to be adding our hops, which today, my hops are inside, of course, but I've got some of the hops. You can bring the kid right now, and you all soon hear one, so he's going to do. You're right. I know. Well, he's I guess, yeah, from the time he was in the womb to now, it's been about 9 months. I guess I could see that. But yeah, I mean, he's 2 weeks old right now. He's stinking cute. I'll tell you what, the cuddles are real. They're real. Oh, I can't have enough of the cuddles. Yesterday, I told Brubella, I was like, hey, you should go take a nap. I'll watch him. Well, he started crying immediately, and I'm like, oh no, please don't cry, don't wake mom. So I'm sitting here like patting his back and doing the rocking thing, and like, shh, quiet, please don't make any noise. Kind of calms down, and then like I lay him in my lap, and he's kind of like, but he's yawning. So I'm like, okay, little man, you're tired. I know this. I'm like, I'm 2 weeks in. I'm no pro, but I could tell you're tired. We're gonna do this. So, so I like leaned back, kind of at an angle. And then he kind of got more calm. So then I was like slowly easing my way down onto the couch. And then I just like laid all the way. And I had him laying right here. His head was up here. And he was just like right there. And I had it against the couch. So we just laid there. And he passed out. It was amazing. But the cuddles. Schmoozebeer. Einen kleinen Schmoozebeer? No, yeah. Eine kleine Schmoozebeer? Tion, let me know if that's how I say it. Schmoozebeer is German for cuddle bear, I believe, right? You know what? I just thought of something. Since I have a lot of German friends that jump on here, I should create a beer called Ich bin ein Berliner. Thanks to JFK. Be funny. Yeah, he's a little cuddle bear. Yes. So, ist eine. Is it eine kleine Schmoozebeer? So, cuddle too much because you spoil your kid in the process. I know. Well, let me just say, most of the time when he falls asleep, I'll just hold him until he falls asleep, and then I'll go stick him in his bed. if he's close to falling asleep, sometimes I'll go stick him in his bed because I'm trying to get him to just like, you know, calm himself down. So I try to limit my cuddles down to like, you know, 10 times a day. Yeah, but you're right, 100%. You don't want to spoil him because then he'll never fall asleep. But there have been a handful of times where I'm like, I have to protect Brubella. She's sleeping. She's also trying to do some things that she hasn't been able to do. So like wrap him up in that little like boba thing, and he's just like right here in your chest, and just right there, super tight and tiny. He's only 7 pounds and something ounces, but anyways, he's super tiny. So I just hold him there and I just wrap him all up, and then I got my free hands again. So I'm just like, oh, doing things, but then he just passes out and he's right there. So it's great. It's super cool. That's a great experience. For those of you who don't have kids, they're amazing. They are a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's amazing. That's all I got to say. Okay. Right, I know. I'm trying to enjoy every moment. I was thinking about this the other day. So every morning when I'm not brewing, I usually get my coffee, and I get a notebook, and I read, I write, I think, pray, meditate, that kind of thing. That's just kind of like my morning routine with my cup of coffee. And the other day I was thinking about the phrase haste makes waste. And I was like, man, I do not want to rush anything right now. Like, it's hard in the moment, not getting enough sleep, or constantly trying to feed or calm him down or things like that. Change diapers while he's screaming and kicking and getting his feet all in the poop and stuff. It's gross and annoying. But it's amazing. But the other thing too is like I realize that all these moments, like it's not going to be a very long time that he's going to be this cute and this tiny and all this other stuff. He's going to change. It's going to be good, but I don't want to waste this moment. Like one of my captains I flew with one time, he said, never say, I can't wait until. Because what happens is when you start saying that, you start thinking about the future and you start like kind of dreading what you're in or wanting things to move faster than they really are. And then you miss what's right in front of you. And I was like, wow, that's so profound. So I made it a point after he told me that. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say that. Because yeah, of course, I want him to sleep all night. I want to get my sleep back, you know, and I'm excited for all the things that he gets when he grows up. And I'm like, man, right now, he's my first kid. All of his firsts are also my firsts as a parent, which is super fun. He's just stinking cute, you know, and he's not going to be that cute for long. Like 13 years from now, he's going to be a teenager and he's going to be like, and he's going to be a pain in the ass. And then he'll be, you know, handsome, cute, whatever. I don't know. Once he's no longer a teenager. That's just how we all do it, right? Hey, I mean, it can. Well, all I have to say is next Father's Day, it's my birthday also. So we're going to do a Father's Day, Brew Day, birthday bash. And then we're going to celebrate fathers, and it's going to be sweet. And then we'll do a Mother's Day birthday, or not birthday bash, but a Mother's Day bash too. We'll have to do that next year. Just because y'all are important too. So I'm so hot right now. So hot. Let me tell you what. So hot right now. Okay, this is done. All right. So let's see. What do you mean? It drags on. It's not just one. Oh, thanks, Tion. I'll get some water. I need to have one that's hydrate and one that's drink a beer and one that's drink a coffee. I don't know, something along that line. You know who I miss? Oh, that's awesome. What? That, oh my gosh, that's cool. Hey, Dr. Hoppenstein at Copacetic Brewing, and to all of you at Copacetic Brewing right now, if you are drinking a beer and watching this stream, thanks to Dr. Hoppenstein, hey, you guys are awesome. cheers to you all. Cheers. I need a beer if I'm going to give you all cheers. But hey, welcome, welcome. You get to watch the beer brewing process as from an amateur. That's awesome. now I'm all like gun shy. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's other people watching me right now. What the Sam hell? Oh shoot. But I love it, Dr. Oppenstein. That is freaking awesome. So, my friends at Copacetic Brewing who are enjoying a Copacetic beer with my friend Dr. Oppenstein, I'm going to come there and we are going to drink the beers there and it's going to be a great time. Just got to say that out loud because it's cool. But man, that's so cool. I really want to try this wet hop IPA that you guys made. And for those of you who were part of that process of picking the hops, that's freaking cool. I'm so glad that you guys got a chance to do that. I hear they're super sticky. I haven't played around with it much. My hop plant, I'll see if I can show you guys. Hold on one second. Do you guys see it? Nope, you can't. Okay, never mind. Anyways, so I live in Utah, and hops do grow here, but it's been freaking hot, so my hops kind of like stunted / burned. Anyways, I've got a few flowers. It's nothing close to what you guys are all picking there in Monticello, but it's pretty close. Pretty close as in like, you know, probably like 50 pounds less. But anyways, there's that. Okay, I got to do this whole thing. Where? Oh, there they are. When dealing with hot items, did I already say this? I might have. But when dealing with hot items, always remember to use protection. I recommend your bare hands. Okay. So what we're doing right now, for those of you who are new to the channel and trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, you're like, okay, he's brewing beer, but this doesn't look like beer. You're right, it's not beer yet. Let me explain it to you, okay? So there's a handful of things that are happening right now. So the water I just poured in this container, this is our amateur version of a hot liquor tank, okay? Lift with your legs. Okay, so yes, they're Home Depot coolers. What you see here this is our amateur version of our hot liquor tank. Okay, what's in here is hot water. We like to call it our sparge water. And this water is designed to go into what we have here, which is our mash tun, okay? A very small version of mash tun. If you have any questions about this, for those of you who are at Copacetic Brewing right now, and you're like, what in the Sam hell is he talking about? Dr. Hoppenstein, my friend, the owner of Copacetic Brewing, he'll tell you. So he's got much larger versions of everything I've got here because he's a pro. He's a pro, and I'm an amateur still. And he's taught me a lot, so I feel very honored. But right here we have our mash tun. So we have our grains in that right inside, and we mixed it in with some hot water. And it's the same temperature as the water that's up here. And what we did was I should say what we're doing in here is we're kind of steeping the grains. So think of tea. You think of when you make tea, you've got your herbs and spices and whatever, and you stick it in hot water. And when you stick it in the hot water and you let it sit for a while, it changes the color of the water and it adds flavor to your water, okay? So dumbing it down, that's what we're doing, okay? We are creating basically tea. It's grain tea is what it is. And pretty soon, we're going to take a sample of it and I'll show you what it looks like, okay? So it went in as water and now it's gonna come out as like a sweet tea. And it's gonna be the color that our beer is gonna be, and it's gonna smell sweet. It's gonna smell sweet and biscuity, kind of grainy, obviously. It's kind of fun because when you do things like stouts, you can smell the chocolate, you can smell the coffee, you can kind of smell the roastiness of it all. We don't have any roasted grains in here, excuse me, but we do have grains that will add kind of like a grape nut sort of smell to it. Sometimes caramel and biscuity kind of hay. Another way of thinking about it is like if you're out in the middle of like wheat fields at the end of summer, you know how like in the evening as it kind of gets a little bit more damp, there's like that smell that comes with it. It's just like that fresh cut wheat field smell. That's what it smells like. It's freaking awesome. Okay, hold on. I got to check all these things. All right, here we go. All right. You're going to experience 30 times when you, yeah, okay. Oh no. Can't get enough of my kids. That's only because you don't realize what that. So fermenting, you need the warm water. For wine, there's 2 stages of fermenting. So beer is probably going to be 1 stage of fermenting. So yeah, so okay, so with fermentation, just to answer your question real fast, fermentation, it depends. You don't want hot water, but it depends on the style of beer that you're working on, okay? So for example, I've got my Mexican lager fermenting right now. When you're fermenting a lager, lagers ferment at colder temperatures. I believe lager is a German phrase for basically cold storage or long storage. I can't remember. Correct me, Tion or Dr. Oppenstein. And so that's kind of what we're doing. So you want it to be colder. So most lagers will ferment between like 45, maybe even lower, 40 to 55, maybe 60 at the high end. But you don't want to go any higher than that. Usually, like when it comes to fermentation, temperature control is an absolute must. So in beer, brewing, and just the whole process of making beer, the 2 things that are the most important thing in my opinion, the recipe is obviously important, but sanitation is by far the key. If you have horrible sanitation and horrible hygiene, your beer is going to end up getting ruined and it's going to suck. And especially when you put so much time and energy into something like this and then it goes bad, oh, the pain is real and it hurts so bad. It hurts because then you're like, oh my gosh, I just spent, you know, $50 on grains and then 8 hours and 3 weeks of waiting and then you just have to dump it. Pain in the butt. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. But then when you're doing something like an ale, like the beer that we're making today, it's an IPA. Okay, so this particular beer, the yeast that we're using, we want it to be anywhere between 67 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We don't want it to be any higher than that. If it gets higher out of that range, what ends up happening is you start getting potential off flavors, okay? So you're getting like banana, burnt Band-Aid, all sorts of nasty smelling, tasting stuff. Buttered popcorn. I had this beer one time. I can't remember the name of the brewery, but I never went ever again. It was like a fly reel beer. I don't remember if it was an IPA or what it was, but when I drank it, I literally almost threw up because it was horrible. The beer was ruined, honestly. And I wasn't a beer snob at that time. I just knew I liked beer. But this one was just, it tasted like buttered popcorn from Bertie Bott's beans from Harry Potter. Like it just was like, you drank it expecting it to taste like beer. And it didn't taste like beer. It tasted like buttered popcorn. It was just vomitous. Oh, so bad. So bad. Can you tell it gives me PTSD? Anyways, so yeah, so going back to the temperature during fermentation, that's important, okay? The hot water that we're doing right now is just, we're steeping our grains, and then we're going to use this hot water from the hot liquor tank to rinse the grains, all the sugar, all the flavor, all the color into our boil pot. We're going to boil it, add the hops, Werflock tablet, all that stuff. Boom. We're going to chill it, throw it in the fermenter, add the yeast, boopity boppity. In 3 weeks' time, we will have beer, okay? And then you said there's like 2 fermentations for wine. In beer brewing, you can do up to 2 fermentations, probably even 3, but as far as I know, there's always been primary fermentation and secondary fermentation. Everything that I've read on the forums, everything that I've read basically has said, you don't need secondary fermentation. I think some of the things for secondary fermentation were like when you're adding fruit or peppers or coffee or dry hopping a beer, then what you want to do is you want to take that beer and transfer it to another fermenter where you're going to add all that stuff. And the only thing is, it's more of an issue from what I understand when you're dealing with larger scale breweries. And part of the reason is when you have a fermenter, once the beer is done fermenting, all that yeast flows or sinks down to the bottom of the fermenter. Now you have all that pressure and all that weight, and from what I understand is that if you don't take the beer off of the yeast or the year off the beer, however you want to look at it, if you don't do that, then your beer can kind of get like a yeasty flavor to it. So a lot of those fermenters are conical, and they'll either harvest the yeast. I don't think they transfer it to another fermenter, but Dr. Hoppenstein, if you're still on, you're the one that would know because you have your own brewery. So let me know. Anyways, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna go back. Hopefully that answers questions. That one person that grown a full human from 0 to 10 months in her body grew through the birth process. Fish watermelon out. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. What you guys go through, it's bananas. I would say it's the most intense, most powerful, most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life is the whole birthing process. Obviously, I didn't birth, but my wife did, and it was like, holy cow, this is so intense. And she did an amazing job. No epidural, no nothing. She's a champ. She's a beast. Her and a Brew baby will be out here before too long. I'll have to see if I can go get him right now, actually. But beer, I can't. Why? It's 3 years. One if it's table wine. It's true. Yeah. I do want to try it. I did try my hand at wine. Failed miserably. But you know, if you don't try, you never learn. But my parents have a vineyard up in Oregon, out in the Willamette Valley. They're called Newton Creek Vineyards. So they don't make their own wine, but they grow the grapes, and it's Pinot Gris. And I think they've got 600 plants, and they grow the grapes, and then they sell it to a local winery called, gosh, it used to be called Spindrift, and then there was that stupid company that came out, the other Spindrift, that was like nasty flavored alcohol water. For those of you who like Spindrift, I'm sorry. I hate it. It's horrible. But I also, oh, this is it right here. Look at this. It's not, yeah, I have some Spindrift. This company right here. They basically said you can't use that anymore because they did sparkling water. Hey, Big Juicy Cat, what's up, dude? Long time no see, man. It's great to have you. Dude, I hope things are well, man. I hope things are well. Pinot Noir varieties. Yeah, Pinot Noir is really good. Actually, what I think it'd be really fun to do, because, you know, obviously the Speakeasy Brewer, I'm brewing beer. What I want to do is I would love to try my hand at cocktails, as well as do like cocktail reviews, wine reviews. And then I had this idea. You guys let me know what you think about this. I was thinking at some point in time, I thought you guys could create the cocktails for me. So I was going to have this thing where it's like either you turn in your points, or like it's a certain number of bits or something like that, where if you turn in a certain number of bits, then you tell me what to make. And it could be as nasty or as delicious or whatever. You just say, hey, I'm gonna make this drink, you gotta try it. So I just make the drink that you tell me to, and then I try it, and we just see how things go. I'm glad to hear that, man. Dude, Big Juicy Cat, I have to say, one thing I really appreciate about you is you always have a positive attitude. Actually, I think everybody here has a positive attitude. Robin 2Bs is always super positive. He's awesome. Tion, you're always positive. And Big Juicy Cat, obviously. You guys, I appreciate y'all so much. It's so cool. So things are well. What about you? On the fruity tones when it's hot, really? Yeah. Ooh, espresso martini. Send me the recipe in the Discord, and I'll make it. I'll do a stream of it. That'd be fun. That'd be great. I got some Irish cream recently, so I think I can make an espresso martini. I don't think you use Irish cream, but you use liquor. I don't know. Anyways, I think in terms of the kid, it's great. I'm energized right now. I think partly because even though I'm not in person, but I know there's people watching, I'm completely energized. So I'm just like, because people energize me. So even through the computer, you're giving me the energy, and I'm very happy and energized. More energy, more passion. Anyways, so there's that. I'm sorry, that was too silly. But Baby's great. He's awesome. Super stinking cute. So Brew Baby will make his appearance at some point in time. I just got to go see when would be good because he was feeding last time I saw him. He might be sleeping again. Yeah, of course I could do it. 1 part espresso, 1 part vodka, 1 part Kahlua. Okay. Let me write that down. I want to write this down right now. But yeah, I mean, because if I'm going to be doing a speakeasy, I need to do all the things, right? Not just beer, but beer is my specialty, you know? But I would like to do all the things. Okay, let me write that down. Okay, you sent it to Discord? Okay, sweet. I don't have to write that down. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Anyways, Big Juicy Cat, it's great to have you here. Man, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad I did this on Sunday or Saturday because I just missed y'all. So let me check the time because for those of you who are like, why is it taking so long? Nothing is happening. You're right. Not a whole lot. Well, something is happening. Okay, cool. We got 18 minutes. So you know what that means. We're going to try a beer. One of these days, Dr. Hoppenstein, if you're still on here, I think you might be. I want to do some copacetic beers. I'm going to try them, and we're going to go through all of them, and we'll do some reviews. It'd be fun. But it would be even more fun if I could just fly out there, rent a car, and then I'll just meet you in your brewery. And we just sit down in the brewery, and we try some beers together. It'd be sweet. The beer drinkers are looking for their, like, sweet things these days. It's true. Yep. I mean, it just depends, honestly. All right, let me see here. There's one that was a cactus one. Double hazy IPA. Is this the one? It's got a cactus on it. There's one that was made with cactus water. Yep, here it is. Okay. So this is a quick thank you to Swine Hunter. So for those of you who don't know who Swine Hunter is, he's always jumps on and says hi, but he was my brew partner for a while. He's now in Dallas, Texas. Dude, how did you get so far away from me? Okay, there's some gross stuff on here. Hold on one second. Sick. Looks like I might have spilled some beer on it and it dried. And I don't want to have that. It must be clean. So I'm gonna let it soak there for a second. But this is from Shiner, and I'm wearing a Shiner hat. Both of these are gifts actually. So one of my buddies, he's a good old Texas fella and super nice, but he was visiting Texas and he saw this this hat and he's like, oh, it's a brewery, it's a hat. My buddy's gonna love it. So anyways, that's why I got the Shiner hat. I believe they are all cactus water. Yeah, I wish you were here, man. Okay, so too much coffee is bad. Take this rest. It's not too bad, just too much coffee. Oh, I guess you said too much coffee. Never mind, sorry, Tion, you're right. No, too much coffee can never be. Yep, it's true. I mean, it has helped me out a little bit, a couple times. Mostly when I'm like tired and like if it's been a long day of flying, I'm just like, I need this. All right. Okay. All right, so here's what we're drinking today. We're drinking, it's called Wicked Haze Double Hazy IPA with cryogenically enhanced hops. Okay, it's got 9.5. What? Okay, 9.5. This is gonna be an intense beer. It's called Tex Hex, Shiner Tex Hex. Okay, made with cactus water and Idaho 7 hops. And it's only 40 IBUs. That's hard to believe for a double IPA, but we'll see. Look at this color. Oh my goodness. Look at that beautiful color. Shoot. Shoot. Oh yeah, this is going to be beautiful. I love that color already. I think that's one of my favorite things about trying beer is when you get it. It's just a nice cold beer. It's interesting because it's hazy. I see some stuff floating around. I don't know if that's part of the cactus water or if that's yeast. Sometimes you'll get yeast in the beers that you get, and that's totally fine. So for those of you who are new to the beer drinking world, if you get a beer that Yeah, if you get a beer that has yeast in it, or it's a little cloudy and it looks like there's floaters in there, don't worry about it. It's not, it hasn't gone bad. Most beers will have, no, I shouldn't say most beers, but like commercially processed beers, most of the breweries will do nice clear beers. Probably the only beer that's not clear is probably a wheat or a hazy IPA. But I guess it did say it is a hazy IPA. No wonder it's hazy. Okay, never mind. I'm going to shut up because I'm being a dingus. I was just thinking IPA in general, but no. Oh my goodness. I love the chat. Okay, so anyways, here's our text with the cactus water. It's a haze. So just right out the gate with a hazy IPA. Obviously it's hazy. It's going to be a little bit more sweet, maybe a little bit more fruity, and it's going to be a little bit more gentle on the hops. That's why it's a 40 IBU. So that makes sense now that I think about it. Sometimes to get the haze effect, they'll use oats and lactose sugar. There might be some other things that they use too, maybe a little bit of wheat. They just don't filter it, but mostly it's the lactose and the oats, and it kind of has a little bit smoother experience, smoother mouthfeel when you drink a hazy. It just depends. I feel like hazies are a little bit, they tend to be sweeter, and I'm not much of a sweet, I don't mind sweet beer, but I really like nice, clean, crisp, kind of tart beers. Well, I shouldn't say tart either, because I mean, I've you have a stout, and that's nice and sweet and kind of chocolatey, and toffee, caramel, that kind of thing. So I mean, that's sweet. So, anyways, not tart, because that's more of something you'd save for a cider or something. But anyways, let's take a quick taste of this. It's a beautiful color, by the way. So I smell. It's not super bitter. It's hard for me to smell the hops, but I can smell the. It's kind of fruity, kind of like almost not strawberry, but it's just got like sometimes hops can have certain aromas to it, which is part of the reason why. Obviously, that's a dumb thing to say, but hops add aroma. Okay, we're going to be adding hops today, and I should go through my recipe here soon. But like sometimes, like hops, when you smell them, they're only hops. Like you smell it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's only hops. And then sometimes you're like, oh yeah, that's hops, but I smell this and this. This one, it just smells like. It smells like it's got some citrus to it. If I were to put like orange, maybe with like if you were to mix orange and lemon, that's kind of what I smell. Anyways, it has it's citrusy. It's got a floral kind of pleasant smell to it too. But there's also a pininess to it as well. Like a small hint of pine sol, which I know that doesn't sound good, but because everybody thinks of pine salt's cleaner, but it's wow, that's actually really good. Okay, so right out the gate, kind of like with the hazy IPA. Remember I said it's usually really kind of got a creamy mouthfeel to it. Super smooth, super creamy. So I'm going to guess that there's definitely, I'm going to say they put probably both, because it's really sweet too. I'm going to guess that they put lactose and oats in here to give it that smooth, creamy feel. It's got such an interesting flavor. That could be the cactus water I'm tasting. But yeah, I taste, there's like a small hint of grapefruit or blood orange. Blood orange is kind of what I taste. Yeah, blood orange and orange. And yeah, there's this flavor I've never had before, and I think it might be the cactus water. I've never had I've never had cactus water. But yeah, it's smooth. It's pretty bitter. It's kind of hard for me to agree with the 40 IBUs, because if this is 40 IBUs and the beer that I'm brewing today is supposedly 60 IBUs, and yet my beer is less bitter, I think it's a little off. But maybe I'm off. I mean, I'm still an amateur. So one thing I would say, cryogenically enhanced hops. I just learned about this yesterday, actually. So cryo hops. I almost got some, but cryo hops, they kind of take all the like fluffy plant material. It's not the hop that doesn't have the flavor and stuff, and they basically take all that away and they distill it down to even more potent like pellets. So what I'm using today for hops, let me show you all. Let's see, I think Citra, oh, Mosaic, here we go. So this is kind of what we're looking at when I'm talking about, you see how they're pellets, kind of like bunny poop or something like that, or like horse feed. So those are the hops that we're using. These are distilled down. So I'll show you what the hops would normally look like if you're using the flower itself. So these hops are actually from my parents' house. So I told you they do wine, right? These are Cascade hops, and you can see they've been air dried down or dehydrated and air shrinked. But you can see the difference, right? So this is 1 ounce of hops. I think this is 2 ounces, so it's a little bit more. But what they do is they compress the flour down into these pellets, so it's way more potent. The pellets are than the flowers, but the flowers are super brilliant too, and they also have the pollen, which in my opinion adds another level of flavor, which is just really, really pleasant. Anyways, so there's that. Oh, and I'm super excited because this is my first beer in my pint glass. Just so you can see the Speakeasy Brewer. Look at that. Oh, man. I feel all excited that I've got like my own little pint glasses. Sorry. Block the sun. Block the sun. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yes. Stay thirsty. Speakeasy. Wow. Okay, so I did say the smell. Did you catch that, Tion? Sorry, I'm going back. I just realized there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. Yeah, it's really good, honestly. Thanks. I appreciate that, Swine Hunter. It's yummy. You need to know what all this young people. From my experience, flavors that don't appeal to the just fails. So yeah, so okay, thanks, man. I appreciate that you like the glasses. And yeah, I mean, Yoshi, I mean, there's always trends, right? I feel like the big trend right now, which honestly I haven't gotten into, and maybe Dr. Oppenstein has some say into it. But it's the NA beer, the non-alcoholic beer. I've tried a handful of them, and it just doesn't taste good, in my opinion. That's obviously, I understand why people are doing it, because the truth is, alcohol is not good for you. And especially if you have too much alcohol, it's not good for you. You know, in moderation, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And you know, obviously, there are some people that have a harder time with controlling how much they take in, which everybody has their own thing, right? So I know that there are people who are trying to do the NA thing. It does have less calories because you're not using as much grain. So there's that. And there's not as much alcohol. So there's also that. So you can hang out. But I mean, honestly, I have not found a good one yet. I know, I think Swine Hunter would probably disagree with me because he's had me try a couple. I think there was one that was like okay. It was like okay. But I just can't do it. If I want to have an NA drink that has like the same amount of alcohol in it, I'm gonna go get a kombucha, because it's the same amount of alcohol but just tastes way better because it's tea at that point. But I feel like NA beer. So I have an idea of what I want to try, and we will try it at some point on this channel, and it'll be my version of NA beer. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it'll be good, but I feel like I got to try it, because sometimes you just got to experiment, right? And that's the thing when you're doing anything really. For me, it's brewing beer. For anybody else, it could be anything, right? Starting a new business, learning a new skill, starting a new hobby, that kind of thing. You grow, you learn, you figure those things out, right? But the biggest thing that I would just encourage everybody that maybe not already knows this, or maybe they do, but they just need a reminder, is don't be afraid to experiment. Experiment. And if you fail, don't worry. Just take really good notes and find out why you failed. Like, I always like to do this thing. So in aviation, we do a flight. If it's a non-event flight, nothing happens, super boring, we won't debrief. But even if it's a non-eventful flight, if there's something that could have been done better, we'll do a quick debrief. We'll say, hey, that one thing back there, like I think it could have been done a little bit better. Here's what I could have done differently that would have been a little bit better. Wasn't a bad thing. It's just, this is what I can do to improve myself. Or if maybe there's something that happened where it's like you take off and you have like an emergency or something like that. You do the emergency, you get back on the ground. It's important to do a quick debrief. Okay, what happened? How did it happen? How did we handle it? What went well? What didn't go well? What can we do better in the future? And I think that's one thing that people don't do enough of is that debrief. And that debrief also kind of helps bring the team back to kind of a shared mental model. So it's like, if one day I'm gonna start a brewery and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna have a beer, we're gonna all sit down, me and my entire team, we're gonna drink the beer and talk about it. Does it taste good? What do we like about it? What don't we like about it? Is there a flavor that we want to remove or want to add? Do we need to amp something up? And then that way we're all feeling part of the team, and then your shared mental model. So that being said, going on a rabbit trail right now, but experiment, take good notes, and then debrief. If you have a fail point, you're never defeated until you give up. So if you fail, just slight setback, just learn from it and keep moving forward. So there's my encouragement for the day from the Speakeasy Brewer. Go experiment. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn and grow. Cheers. Okay. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, so good question. The emergency thing doesn't happen very often. I think I've been flying in the airlines for 8 years. I think I've had one true emergency and 2 almost emergencies, 3 almost emergencies. And I say almost because it turns out what was happening, for example, one of them was like, one of our engines had high vibrations. So on the plane that I was flying at the time, the fan blades, they would move a little bit. There was a little bit of give on it. So, that was normal. That was how it would work. And then when it would spin, it would just like become solid. It would stick out. Anyways, it's kind of hard to explain. But anyways, so one of the fan blades actually got stuck and it wouldn't wiggle. And because of that, it actually caused a slight vibration. And the vibration was too high. So we had to pull power back on the engine. And so we flew on like 50% power on one engine and full power on the other engine. It was fine. There was nothing wrong. And everything that we did said continue. It's not a big deal, but we had to monitor the engines. So if the engine started doing anything weird, we had to land as soon as possible, basically. And in that case, it's like you lose an engine, okay? You still have one engine. Airplanes will fly on one engine, no big deal. But it's just one of those things. So it was an almost emergency, but it's just like it wakes you up and you're like, okay, well, we got to monitor these things. And then since we were running less power on one engine, you had to move fuel. Anyways, complicated. But I did have a medical emergency one time, and that was a real deal thing, and it didn't end well. But there wasn't anything we could do. This happened last September, so almost a year ago. We were flying from Nashville, Tennessee to San Antonio, Texas, and that, my friends, is our mash timer. Okay, we're done with the mash. Stop beeping. Okay, we're done with the mash. Cool. So now we're gonna boil off. So real quick, I'll tell a story real fast, and then we gotta move because gotta help mom here shortly. So anyways, we were flying from Nashville to San Antonio, Texas, dodging thunderstorms all the time. We had everybody stay seated, the flight attendants, and we had a small window where we told the flight attendants, hey, we're gonna land here in about 15 minutes. You should probably clean up the cabin, and then it's gonna get really bumpy again. So they went up and cleaned the cabin, and then they found a passenger purple. Face was purple, and the rest of the body was white. And it was an African-American dude. So that wasn't his normal color, obviously. So anyways, he ended up having a heart attack, and we think he was dead. He ended up like not making it. By the time we found him, like he was dead. So we think it happened mid-flight. He was probably asleep, still super bad. Anyways, they pulled him out of the seat. The flight attendants, and we had some medical professionals on board. They were doing CPR. The captain was talking with the flight attendants, talking with dispatch, and talking with Stat MD. So we have doctors that we could talk to. He was doing that, and I was flying. So my job was dodging thunderstorms, flying as fast as possible without not too fast because of the turbulence, and declaring an emergency, getting priority, getting the EMTs at the gate, ready to go, all this other stuff. And it was intense, you know, because you're sitting there, you're like, we can save this person's life. But you also have to think, like, it's just one person. And the way I'm going to say this sounds like I'm heartless, and I don't want it to sound like that. But you can either do things, remember what I said earlier in the stream, haste makes waste. You could do things really fast, miss some steps, potentially endanger everybody just because you're trying to rush to save that one person's life. Or you just slow down, you do what you can, and you get on the ground safely. And because when an emergency happens, like your adrenaline kicks in, you start shaking a little bit, and you're just like trying to do all the things, but then you have to like breathe. Just be like, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, we got to do this checklist. We got to do this. We got to talk to these people. We got to talk to these people. You know, you just kind of got to break it down. You got to slow way down, because if you don't slow down, you start making errors. And something that, I mean, it was an emergency, but not with the airplane. It was with a person. But you don't want an emergency like that to turn into a real emergency where more people are going to get hurt. That's the thing. Anyways, okay. Cheers to that. I'm sad that it didn't make it, and cheers to his family. Man, it was horrible. So things like that happen, but they don't happen that often. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I like the trend talk, Yoshi. I appreciate you bringing that up. Hey, I'm not trying to like end the chat soon or too quickly, but I do have to kind of move a little bit. But anyways, yes, you're right. It's important to, let me do this. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once. It is important to find the trends. And I think you're totally right, Yoshi. When I do start my brewery, I think that's the key. And actually, you know who would know is Dr. Hoppenstein. So he's working right now. He's working the bar. So Dr. Hoppenstein, if you are free and you can answer this question, that would be great. What trends are you seeing on the beer front? As a brewer, professional brewer with your own brewery, what are you seeing? Are the trends still like IPA, hazy IPA? Are there like ambers and stouts? Are they still popular? Are you seeing more people move back to the lighter beers like pilsners and other lagers, or what? I'm just curious if you have any insight onto that. Okay, so this next thing we're going to be doing, this is called Vorlaufing. Okay, so what we're doing, this is before we let's do this. Hold on one second. So what we're going to do is we're going to recirculate the wort. So what we created, remember I told you, I used the word tea, like grain tea. That's basically what it is. But what it's really called, the actual term is wort, and it's spelled W-O-R-T, kind of like what you would expect for wort, but we're not saying wort, we're calling it wort. Okay. Oh wait, that's too soon. Hold on one second. I'm skipping a step. Anyways, so we're going to circulate the wort back into the grain, and we're going to use the grain bed as a filter, and that filter is going to filter out all the particulates. Oh, I need to show you guys this camera. Oh my goodness. This is when two people would be great. Now I'm talking about wine trends. Oh, okay. Because teens don't drink wine, so we always get 50 to 60. I wonder why that is. I'm super curious about that. Okay, let's do this. Okay. You guys see that okay? All right. Let's do this. Okay. In Germany, you could drink wine legally at 16. Beer and wine is the first contact. That's true. You know, I was almost born in Germany. I was, my mom and dad were based in Ramstein. And my mom, they were in the military. And they were pregnant with me in the military when they were living there. And they were planning on staying there. And I was going to be a dual citizen. I was going to be German and American. Okay, so, oh yeah. Oh, if you guys could smell this right now, it's orgasmic. Okay, so it smells really good. All right, so what we're going to do is Vorlauf. Like I said, we're going to recirculate the wort. We're going to use this pitcher to capture some of the beer. Sorry, some of the wort. This is our first glimpse of what the color is going to look like, as well as flavor. We're going to take a quick sample of it. And the first couple pulls of this are going to be full of grain and other particulate. And the whole reason we're doing this is to reduce the amount of particulate that's getting into the boil pot. Honestly, I've heard mixed reviews on this. Some people say it doesn't even need to happen, especially if you have better equipment that kind of creates a whirlpool that at the end of your brewed, it kind of all collects at the bottom. But I like to do it because it's one more thing that will help me get better clarified beer. Okay, so here we go, right here. Look at that, beautiful, super hazy, right? So this is the color of the beer. Right here is your first glimpse of what color the beer is going to be, which is basically the same color as the IPA I'm drinking right now. It's hazy because there's particulate in it. We're just going to pour it back in onto the grain bed slowly. And we don't want to go too fast because we don't want to splash a whole ton. We're going to do this several times. We're going to do this until we get a pretty clean pull from the mash tun. The second pull is even cleaner than the first. And again, we're just trying, remember, these mash tuns have a false bottom. I didn't really show you guys today because I'm kind of in a little bit of a rush, but they have a false bottom on the bottom of the container, and that is designed to hold the grain bed up so that only the wort comes through the spigot and goes into the boil pot. So we're going to do this a couple times. So already there's a lot less particulate, and this is when I like to take a quick sample. This isn't what, so I like to call this the angel share. It's not a true angel share in terms of like alcohol, like when you're making spirits, because that's like pure ethanol. And they call that the angel share because you can't really drink it because you'll go blind. But that's for the angels to enjoy. So that's the whole term behind that. And I think it's like the very first pullings of distilling. So anyways, but this is my own version of the angel share. I like to take a quick sample of what is it going to taste like? What are the flavors? Because you can get a pretty great idea of what the flavors are going to be in the beer, just in terms of grains, not necessarily in terms of like hop aroma, bitterness, or anything like that, because we haven't had the hops, right? So this is literally, you're going to taste it. When you taste it, if you were here, you would taste very sweet, biscuity, probably caramely flavor. All right, I'm going to do this one more time, and then we're going to start moving this into the boil pot, boil kettle. So I'll go through the whole process there in a second. So every time I take a pull, it's getting cleaner and cleaner, which is great. Whatever I can do to reduce the amount of particulates that's going to go into the boil pot is beneficial, because I really enjoy nice, clear beer. It brings me so much joy. And honestly, you know, brewing beer is so easy. It's so easy. I know the equipment that I have is really simple. You can go, it's one of those things where it's like you can go as simple as you want or as complex as you want. And simple is what it's all about. All right, I'm going to connect the tubing. And what we're going to do next is a process called sparging, okay? So let me get the other tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the water from our hot liquor tank. Let me show you guys. Okay, there's our hot liquor tank right there. This has just hot water in it. We're going to move the water from here into here. We're basically going to give the grain bed a shower of water. And whatever flow rate we have down here going into the pot, we need to match it with the flow rate that's happening up here in the hot liquor tank. We want to make sure that the flow rate is pretty much the exact same so that the grain bed doesn't get compacted and then we get something called a stuck mash. And we also don't want it to get too full because then if it's flowing out too fast down here and it's flowing in fast here, what we get is we get these little channels in the grain bed, and those channels prevent a full kind of rinsing of the grain. So we want to kind of avoid that if possible. All right, so what I do, and I'm gonna just do this real quick, show you what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna do a quick taste of this wort. I'm gonna stick it right in the middle as much as I can. I'm gonna open down below, and then we're going to try and match the flow rate. And then I'll take a quick sample of the wort just to smell and taste what it looks like. And to speed up the process, what we're going to do is we're going to, once we get enough beer or wort into the boil pot, we're going to start heating it so it takes less time to get it to boil. So we got it going in. Now we're going to try and match it going into the grain bed. So, and I like to just stand here and just kind of give it a nice, even, balanced shower of water. When I do this, it allows all the sugars and all the coloring and all the flavor and everything to kind of get pulled into the center for the boil pot. And now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor this, right? It should take about 15, 20 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes, depending. I feel like for me, it takes probably no more than 20 minutes. So what I'm seeing already is it looks like there's more water going in than there is going out because I can see a thin layer of water starting to form on top of the grain, okay? So that's what we're seeing right now. And so if it gets too much more than this, I'm gonna slow the rate down up top because I don't really want it to go too fast. You know, I wanna make sure it's nice, efficient, and clean. But I don't want it to be too fast. So still that layer, it's not really changing too quickly, so I could probably back it off just a tad, and it's probably a good flow rate. So I'm gonna come back to camera 1. We're gonna let this run for just a second before I start heating it. And then, yeah, so here's our angel share, okay? Beautiful color, nice yellow color. It kind of looks a lot like this, right? It's good. And I think it was Hedgehog Wombat. You were the one that asked if it was my own recipe, and yes, it is my own recipe. Wow, that was so good. Okay, I gotta go get Brubella here. Let me see if I can get her out here because I want to introduce you guys to Brew Baby before it gets hot and steamy in here. Not that it's already hot and steamy because of this hot guy, but anyways. Only old people drink wine. Beer is for young guys. Yes, I'm going to vibe with you. I brew sojo if I feel like it, but I don't do it. It's just rice wine. Yeah, rice wine. I mean, rice wine is like sake. It's pretty good. I like wine and I like beer. I don't know. For me, it seems like the trends. I don't know. I it seems like I feel like right now with the young people, I have a tendency to see women drink wine and men drink beer. Um, and I feel like if there is a dude drinking beer, he's like a dude with the fine taste. I love wine. So Brubella and I will drink wine every once in a while. Obviously, we haven't for the last 9 months. She had her first like wine in a while the other day with dinner, which was really fun. But I mean, I grew up with a family that really loves wine. So I would say that wine is not feminine at all, even though it seems that what I have seen and experienced is that there's a lot more women that drink wine than beer. That being said, it doesn't make it a feminine thing because wine is fan freaking tastic. It just depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes if after like a long hard day, I'm just like I just want a beer. And then sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I feel bougie. I'm gonna get myself a bottle of wine, and I'm gonna do a charcuterie board and get some meat and cheese and some olives and um, all that stuff. So, anyways, um, so yeah. Well, yeah, it depends. I would say it depends because I mean, I think people in general, if they want to get lost, they'll drink a lot. That's to get lost. But I think there's a lot more people out there that drink to enjoy it, drink because of community. But there's still people out there who's going to drink just to forget everything, right? And that's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But, you know, I think everybody needs to work on just their own emotional quotient, like emotional health. When people are emotionally healthy, then they won't turn to things like alcohol or drugs or doom scrolling on their iPhone to like numb pain, but they approach it head first. You know, it's hard to go through the pain and the process of, you know, working through trauma or hurt or whatever. But anyways, I'm a brewer, not a therapist. All right, I'm gonna try and text Brubella real fast. Um, okay. Um, oh, I don't know, Decipher, if you're still on here, but I just saw your. Maybe you jumped on for a second, but if I didn't see you, I apologize. Hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get Brubella and see if I can get little man, because we got to introduce you guys to Brew Baby. So I'll be right back. Let me just check this real fast. Seems okay. I am gonna heat this up though. I don't want to get too distracted. Open, open, closed. All right. We're gonna bring this to boil, and then we're gonna start doing the hops. So I'm gonna also get the hops. So I'll be right back. Nice boy. You ready to? Well, I mean, you won't see anybody, but let's go introduce your cute self. We definitely need to put him in the shade if he's getting too hot. Well, Okay, I've realized I still have my mic on. You guys are hearing me have all sorts of conversations. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have the pleasure to introduce this young man, weighing in at 7 pounds, 1.5 ounces, the breakthrough baby, Thunder Theo. I introduce to you Brew Baby. Brew Baby. Anyways, this is little man. Look at how tiny he is. He's so tiny. His neck is. Oh, which I gotta hold his neck, but here he is. Cute little baby boy. Ha ha ha. So this is him, the Brew Baby. This is the first time in the brewery too. Look at that. Yeah. His name is Theo or Theodore. So he's so tiny. Look at it. Look at him. He's like on my pec. He just finished feeding, so he's getting super tired. He's got. Look at how much hair he's got. Anyways, so this is our little man. This is our little hop baby or brew baby. And Brubella will be out here shortly. I think she was gonna come say hi too real fast, but she's doing well and he's doing well. But just look at this cute little face. Oh, the cute face. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Oh, the cutest face of all. Oh. Anyways, he's gonna be my future helper. You know, when you need help with things, you just you make babies. Then you're like, I've got extra hands to do things around the house. You can help me garden. You can help me brew beer, right? You ready to help me brew beer? Anyways, it's kind of hot out here, so once Brubella comes out, I might give him back because I don't want him to get too hot. Because it is summer and it's 98 degrees today, right? And in here it's probably like 105. He's so tight. Yeah, it's like an army. That's right. I know. How do you take over the world? Just have lots of kids. And then they have kids, and then their kids have kids. It's like throwing a rock in a pond, and it just creates ripple effect, right? Oh, he's got the cutest little feet. We were gonna get him a Speakeasy Brewer onesie, which would be kind of fun. All right, let me do this because I gotta multitask. Right, buddy? Right. We gotta multitask. Another cool thing we're doing, so I told you all about my fundraiser tomorrow with the beer that I've got and the pint glasses. But what we're going to do today is we're going to use all of the grain from today's brew day, and we're going to make dog treats, and that's going to be another thing that we add to tomorrow. So the pint glasses and the dog treats are all going to be to support this brewery endeavor / this live stream. Oh, he's already out cold. You can tell he's out cold by. It's amazing what he's milk drunk. You're milk drunk, huh? That's what he does. All right, we're almost done with this water, so let me do this. What can I do? I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna pour the rest of the water in here. Actually, you know what? I want to do that. I don't want too much water in there because we're gonna make dog biscuits. What do you think? Less water or more water? There's only like a gallon left. I guess we could put it in. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. Oh, I think Brubella might be coming out. Or I forgot to shut the door. Which happens. Okay, So, if you're wondering about the nickname Thunder Theo, we gave it to him because the night he was born, I guess he was born in the morning of Saturday, so 14 days ago. But that night when Amy started going through labor, we had several thunderstorms roll through. And then right after he was born, we had a big one roll through, which was fun. And then a week later, on his 7-day, his week on Earth, 1 week on Earth, that day was marked with several thunderstorms, which was kind of fun. So we called him Thunder Theo. So today is week 2, so we're kind of curious to see if we're going to get any thunder today. We had some yesterday, so we're trying to see if this is a theme. Oh, I got a smile. I didn't realize babies could smile at 2 weeks, but they do. What do you think? What do you have to say to everybody? What do you say to everybody? Hi guys. Today we're brewing an IPA, and it's gonna be delicious. I can't drink yet, but just trust me, it's gonna be the best IPA ever. Look at his. I gotta show you guys his face. He scowls. He's really good at scowling. That's like his thing. You hot, little man? All right, I might have to take him inside, y'all. He's getting hot, right? But oh, the cute little feet. Look at those feet. They're so tiny. Okay, anyways, so you could tell I like having this kiddo, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna go take him back inside. I will be right back. Hello, buddy. Can I give him back to you? He's sweating. Or do you want to come out and say hi and try the angel? You totally should.
Would you want to go bring her to Lori's house then?
I can. Okay. Sounds good. Yep. I'm gonna take him to Lori's. No, I was gonna give the baby to you. Yeah, you should come say hi.
Okay, hi.
Yeah. Yep. Coda, come here. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, I'm gonna introduce the champion of the hour. Look at Rubella no longer has a big tummy up there.
Hey, look at this. I'm all skinny.
This baby was right here.
Oh, brother.
Anyways, here I'm gonna go take him.
Oh yeah, it's hot out here. She's
gonna
way too hot.
She's gonna take him. I'll be right back here.
Especially next to like a boiling pot.
You can put this on while I'm gone. You're in control.
Who's here? We have Yoshikichi. I haven't met you yet.
And
hi.
Dr. Hopkins.
We're
on big screen at this brewery.
Oh, okay. I'm not an entertainer, so I'm pretty bad at keeping people interested. But good to see you guys. And Tion, thanks for all of your advice throughout, like all the time that you hang out with Austin here. And your mom skills are awesome, I'm sure. And it's great to like have somebody else who's already gone through this. Just keeping him in check. It's kind of crazy that he's doing this right now, but it's okay. We have a system. We've figured out if he feeds the baby once in the nighttime hours or whatever, then I can actually sleep for 4 hours, but it's really actually 3 hours in a row instead of 1.5 to 2. So that's been a game changer. So perfect. Yeah. What else? really freaking hot in here. It's like 110 degrees, I think, next to like boiling water and gas stove, and it's 100 degrees outside, and this baby is already sweating. So I might have to bail on you guys. You're just gonna have to stare at an empty screen. Oh goodness. Austin's very ambitious. I shouldn't say his name. Speakeasy Brewer is very ambitious, and he makes good beer. That's for sure. Everybody loves it. Wish you guys could try it, actually. But anyway, he's gonna do his fundraiser, and it's gonna be great. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go turn the AC on. This is so hot.
Oh my gosh, I feel okay.
Uh oh, what'd you do? Is it
Too
over
much.
boiling?
Too much is in there. Okay. Too much.
Too much.
You want to try this?
Yeah.
It's super toasty.
Oh yeah. I think they're all doing other things.
Yeah.
Have it open.
That's okay.
Like liquid sugar.
Yeah. Liquid sugar.
Yep. Delicious.
Yep. All right. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? I'm almost done. The grains are done. So those are going to make dog biscuits. Okay. I'm just going to put the top back on for that. We're getting close to the boil, which means I got to do some things. So here we go. Design a 60 minutes Galaxy. Okay. 60 minutes is Galaxy. So we are using Galaxy hops. And this is for our bittering hop. Bittering hops go in at the very beginning of the boil. And this will give us a musky, tropical fruit-like apricot with key lime and black currant in it. So that's what we're gonna do here. Oh, yeah. All I have to say is I am so curious. I bet your brewery smelled flippin' amazing, Dr. Oppenstein, with all the hops being picked. I mean, I just smell this and I'm like, oh, it smells so good. All right, so the Galaxy, I can change this. It's 14.1%. That's going to bring our IBUs down a little bit. So, so bitterness for a beer comes from the hops, obviously. Same with aroma and flavoring. Obviously, part of the beer flavor comes from the grains itself. But then when you're talking about, you know, floral or citrus or berry-like, that's coming from the hops. So yeah, anyways, that's what's going on. We're getting ready to put these in. Now, when you put the hops in, let me show you what's going on here, because you can see kind of from this view. But right now you see a beautiful view of the boil. Okay, it's almost boiling, I should say. It's not the boil, but it will be a boil here before too long. Get you close, up close and personal to the boil. You never get this at a normal brewery, I'll tell you what. Whoa, I almost lost the camera. All right, so here we go. We're getting close to the boil. Right now it's just covered with foam. So there's a trick to this, right? So we have gas. The nice thing about using gas is if it boils over, then we can just turn the gas off before it boils over and slow it down. So what we're going to do is at 60 minutes, as soon as we get the boil going, I guess we're still kind of a ways from that. It's getting pretty close. But you're going to see the boil. We're going to add the hops, and then we'll go from there, okay? Let's see, where are my bare paws? Bare hands, bare hands. So one trick that I like to tell people, this is what I learned, is with the boil pot, get it somewhat off center from the fire. And if you do the off center thing, you're going to get a nice convective boil. So you're going to start seeing some boiling happening here really soon, actually. And so what's going to happen is it's going to boil. So the hops are going to kind of go in a convective motion, and that's going to help get the hops into the beer. So during the boil, there's a few things that are happening. And the biggest important thing is the hops, right? So with the hops, it's going through this process called isomerization. And the alpha acids in the hops are becoming isoalpha acids. What that means, I don't know yet, but one of these days I will, and I'll be able to explain it better to you. But that's what's happening in the boil. And we're also kind of bringing the enzymes that we have activated during the mash process. We're kind of bringing that to an end. The enzymes are no longer doing their job, but we're kind of maturing the proteins and getting the hops involved with the whole thing as well. And so hops are important because when you're talking about hops and bitterness, we talk about this measurement called alpha acid. And so with alpha acid, the higher the alpha acid of a hop, the more bitter the beer is going to be. The lower the alpha acid, the less bitter it's going to be. So there's that. So the one we just put in, or we're going to be putting in, this one is Galaxy hops. This is 14% alpha acid, 14.1 anyways. And so it's going to be the big point of it is using the bitterness. Will be for the bitterness, sorry. And I just want to see what we have here. We got Citra. Trying to see, I know I had some hops already used, and I don't want to like open new ones if I can help it. But okay, here we go. This is Citra and Mosaic. The only thing is they've been in the fridge for a while, so I don't want to like use old hops. So the thing about hops is you can keep them in cold storage, and it usually helps extend their life. But honestly, if you're wanting to have, you want to make sure everything's nice and fresh for the best outcome. Okay, my computer is getting hot. So I'm using ice blocks. Stick it on. So I get the, is it called the cool, I can't even talk right now. Oh, I need to, shoot. Oh, I guess we're not boiling yet. We're good. We're getting close. We're about 10 degrees away. Once it goes to boil, I'm gonna set the timer. So 60 minutes. We're gonna add our 1 ounce of hops, which is our Galaxy, and then the second amount we're gonna add, our second addition will be at 40 minutes, 20 minutes in, and that'll be our Citra and our Mosaic. I've got some Citra. I'm going to use the fresh ones because this is a wedding beer. I need to make sure it's fresh. So our Citra hops are going to provide the tropical fruit, including peach, passion fruit, and guava. And then, here's our mosaic right here. Okay, so our mosaic and our citra, and then the mosaic adds tropical fruits, citrus, berry, pine, aroma. So pretty much the same thing. This one's peach and passion fruit, guava. Okay, anyways, so we're gonna be doing that. For those of you who are new and hanging out here, welcome to the Speakeasy Brewer. I'm just gonna say hi real fast. I'm trying to move things along because I need to get done with this thing because I have a kid and my wife is ready for me to be done. So I gotta be done. So we're gonna boil this. It's gonna be 60 minutes and then I'm just gonna cut it off at the end of the boil. I'm not gonna go through the whole chilling phase like I don't even normally do the chilling phase with y'all, but we're gonna be close to being done. It's 2 hours, so another hour-ish we're gonna be done, okay? I gotta hydrate. It's hot. Right now it's like 98 outside. And in the garage it's probably like 105. And for those of you who are new to the Speakeasy Brewer, we're brewing beer day. Today is IPA day. We're brewing an IPA for my buddy's wedding. I'm calling it Sunsight in Paradise because it's freaking phenomenal. Every time I drink this beer, I imagine myself sitting on a Hawaiian beach, watching the sunset, drinking a beer. That's what I think of. So that's why I called it the Sunset in Paradise. Our Mexican lager I named Bandito. The Bandito. And I'm also excited because I have my very first pint glasses. I know you guys can't see it because color and things and stuff and such. But here you can see the Speakeasy Brewer right there. And then on the back is that cool artwork. Basically, what you see on the back here is what's on here. So anyways, these are my pint glasses. And for those of you who just jumped on and might not be sure what the heck is going on, again, I'm brewing beer. We're getting to the boil. Actually, I think that's pretty close to a rolling boil right now. I'm gonna give it one more second. And then I'll explain some other stuff. We're getting close. So this part of the boil, I'm gonna switch you guys over so you can see what's going on. Once we get to the boil, it's really important that we make sure it doesn't boil over. It's a mess and it's a pain in the butt to clean up. We try not to do that. But normally what I'll do is as it starts to get to that boil, I'm just going to kind of swirl it around. These are ideas and things that I've done to help reduce the amount of boil over. And I also get myself ready to turn the gas off. But it happens really fast, so just be ready. All right. Since we're higher altitude, it'll start boiling at a lower temperature. So, benefits of boiling at a higher altitude. Another thing you could do, other than reducing the amount of gas that's causing the flame to go, you could blow on it, and that helps too. All right, that looks like a boil to me. So I'm gonna put my hops in. I'm gonna monitor it. Did pretty good. So I put way more wort in than I needed to. So let me start the timer here. Timer and run. All right. So in 40 minutes, the last 20 minutes of the boil, we're going to be adding our other hops. So here's a couple things to consider when you're brewing your own beer, or just if you're not going to brew your own beer, but you're thinking about, or you want to know how the process goes. Brew, when you're in the boil, usually it's about 60 minutes, give or take. I have some beers with 90 minutes, some beers with 30 minutes, just depends. But in general, it's about 60 minutes of a boil. That puts the hops through a process called isomerization. So it turns the alpha acids into an isoalpha acid. So the oils from the hops are getting introduced into the beer. And so at this early stage, when you add the hops at the 60-minute mark, that's for bittering. It's going to add a little bit of flavor, but its main purpose is bittering. Then you add your other hops for aroma and flavor. So if you want flavor versus aroma, you add your flavoring hops at 20 minutes, between 20 and 15 minutes. And then you add your aromatics at 5 to 0 minutes, okay? And that's when you're going to add those hops. And so when I talk about flavor and aromatics, that's literally what they mean, right? The flavoring hops are going to add that flavor, and the aromatic hops are going to add that aroma. So today we're going to do basically half an ounce of each, but we're going to do 0.25 ounces of Mosaic and 0.25 of Citra, and we're going to put those in at 20 minutes to the end of the boil, and that's going to be our flavoring hop. So the flavors we're going to get from this are tropical fruit, citrus, berry, pine, aroma, as well as peach, passion fruit, and guava. Okay, then that's flavoring, right? And then once we get to like the 5-minute mark, then we're going to add another 0.25 of each for a total of 0.5 ounces, and that's going to give our aroma. Okay, now we got a really sweet boil. Check this boil out. That's one hot boil. So hot right now. So hot. So hot. The hotness is real. So we got our first hop bag in here, as you can see. And again, it's nice to have this rolling boil like this because it causes the hops to like move around. So I always put it off center. So if you're a home brewer, put your pot off center, and that's going to help you do things. It's going to help kind of, I can't even think of the words, I'm tired. It's going to be more convective in terms of how the hops move around, okay? And if you have any questions about what you're seeing about the brew process, please ask away in the chat, and I will be happy to answer. For those of you who are at Copacetic Brewing, a big shout out to Copacetic Brewing. My friend Dr. Hoppenstein is the owner, master brewer, and the man who owns that place. So I said that already, but he's in charge there. And just want to do a quick shout out to Copacetic Brewing. Cheers to all y'all. Thanks for jumping on, and it's fun to be in the background. And just so you guys know, like, I don't actually know Dr. Hoppenstein's actual name. Or maybe he told me, and if he did, I forgot, so I apologize. But he's super awesome. I really appreciate him. He's been, since I'm still a fairly amateur brewer, I mean, my beer is getting better literally by the week and the month, and I'm super excited about it. I'm going to end up creating my own brewery, but Dr. Hoppenstein has been a big help for me. He's taught me a lot of things that have actually caused my beer just to go to the next level. So my coffee beer that I made, one of the best beers I've ever made, and he was a big helper with that. And I also made a Dune-themed beer. I called it Arrakis Ale, and he also gave me some input on that. So a lot of what I've learned to really improve my beer brewing skill has come from him within the last few months. So big shout out to you, Dr. Hoppenstein. I really appreciate it. And it's awesome. I'd love to come out there and enjoy a beer with you at your own brewery. Maybe even do a brew day with you. It'd be super fun. and I'll bring some of my own beers, and you can tell me how they taste to you. Because I feel like everybody I let try my beer, I don't necessarily always trust what they say, because, you know, they're friends, and I always tell them to, like, I'm like, be serious. Like, I need, like, as like good feedback as possible. Like, if it sucks, tell me. If it doesn't suck, tell me. What do you like? What don't you like? And those people are the most important. Like, when you have somebody who's willing to tell you the hard things so that you can improve your craft. But I don't know. I've had a handful. I only have one person, maybe two, that I could think of that have actually been really beneficial for improving my beer. Obviously, Dr. Oppenstein, but one of my neighbors, he is, I'll just bring it here. You're just hearing my voice and not even seeing, but one of my neighbors, actually I have two neighbors. One worked at a brewery here in Salt Lake City, Utah called Red Rock, and I had her try my Mexican lager, and she's more of an IPA girl, but she was telling me that my Mexican lager was better than Red Rock, which I don't know if she was just trying to be nice, because I like Red Rock beer. Their beer is good, and I feel like if she likes it better, that's a big win. We'll see. And then and then she loved the IPA. And then my other buddy, other neighbor, he is like a master cook. I mean, he's so good. So we do block parties in our neighborhood, and he always comes out late with like amazing food. We're always like, where's George? He's bringing the good stuff here any minute. Like, it's going to be good. Like, where is he? And he always comes out late, an hour and a half late. And he always brings all the food. And it's always like orgasmic in flavor. It's so good. It's so good. So good. So anyways, he used to brew beer, but he's all about flavor and taste and everything. He's just, he's Dutch. So he's got a hard palate to please. So half of my beers, he's like, this is great. Other half, he's like, it's not really to style. And I'm like, I know, I appreciate that. So it's great. It's great to have, you know, all the different sides. And then I have people in my neighborhood who just, they don't care. It's beer. They'll drink it. Yeah, so these are my first pint glasses. I'm super excited about it. What we're going to do is tomorrow we're doing a beer fundraiser at my house, mostly because version 1 of both this IPA, I did a previous version of it just to test it out, test the recipe out. Version 1 of this IPA and the Mexican lager they're all kegged, they're in my fridge, and so I need to drain those kegs. So tomorrow we're gonna do a fundraiser. I've chosen 5 to 6 charities here in Salt Lake City. Like, you can actually walk up to their door and see what's happening. And one of them I actually volunteer at, but we're gonna have people donate $10 per pint of beer that they want. We got 38 people signed up right now, which is kind of exciting and also kind of nerve-wracking for me, because I'm like, oh man, like, I'm putting myself out there, you know, just, you know, putting my beer out there. Like, are people gonna enjoy it? Like, is this gonna go well? What's it gonna be like? So trying not to stress out or get too worried about it, because it's gonna go well. But then these pint glasses I'm selling for like $10 a piece, and that's to help support the beginnings of my brewery as well as this stream, so I can do more with it. So yeah, anyways, that's what's going on. So for those of you who are wondering about the pint glasses, I had a couple people say they were interested in the pints. So I don't know if I should put that on the Twitch merchandise page so that people can buy it if they want to, or if I should just get a bunch of them printed and then ship it. I don't know. So you guys tell me what you think is the best option. Okay, our boil's looking good. Then check our timer real fast. It's also really freaking hot here. Okay, I got 30 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to measure out my next set of hops, so it's ready to go. I need, okay, this will work. I also have this really sweet pocket scale. I'm not being sponsored or anything. Maybe one day I'll be sponsored by stuff, but I'm not that cool yet. But it's called a VitaFit. Looks like this, VitaFit. And I use this more for when I do water chemistry in my beers, but it's very good for hops as well. Because again, on a scale like I'm doing, like 5 gallons, we're dealing with small amounts of hops, ounces. You know, if I'm doing a full ounce, I don't have to measure it. But if I'm doing 0.25 ounces or 0.5 ounces, something like this is going to help. But this scale has been amazing. It's been a game changer for me doing water chemistry for my more difficult beers, where the water chemistry really counts. And that is my lager. So the Mexican lager and the German Pilsner, that's when I use this little pocket scale. And it does. It fits right in the pocket. Check this out. Oh, see? It fits right in the pocket. Anyways, anyways, so pocket scale. So that's what I'm going to be using today to measure out my hops. So I'm going to go, I need to go get one more bowl to make that happen. Anyways, it's great for small water additions. So when I do my own water chemistry, I start with RO water, so reverse osmosis water, has nothing in it, just water. And I'm sure there's a few minerals and things like that that kind of get through the filter, but in general, it's just plain water. And then I'll add things like gypsum and Epsom salt and baking soda, chalk, which in my case, I just use Tums. So Tums work really well. That's my secret ingredient. Anyways, so when you're dealing with water chemistry, you're doing parts per million. So you're doing like half a gram or like 0.2 grams for 5 gallons of water. And that thing is so good at doing that. Like, it's so accurate. And it's amazing because it's like you'll sit there and you'll like tap it. And there was one thing, I can't remember what it was, if it was gypsum or what it was, but I mean, you look at it and it's like 0.5 grams, but when you look at it, you're like, there's no way it's 0.5 grams. It's like, I mean, a druggie who does lines would be disappointed in it. But anyways, so yeah, great scale, VitaFit. So if you're looking to do like small scale measurements where it needs to be absolutely accurate, that's a great scale to have. So anyways, I gotta go get a container for my hops so I can measure that. So stay tuned. I'm gonna show you while I'm gone to let you watch the boil. Boil in action. I'll be right back. I should probably re-up my water intake too. So I'll be right back. I know I'm bringing my mic with me, so you guys are gonna hear me. I might talk about random stuff. Feels so good in here. Almost, it's boiling right now. So, 50 minutes. 10 minutes ago. Yep. Oh no. Milk spill.
You're so hot right now.
I am.
Is your microphone on?
It is.
Are we on the VOR?
Yeah. I don't remember. Who?
VM on. Remember Apollo 13 when he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
yelling?
the Vox. So, if you guys can hear us, we're talking about Apollo 13. It's a great movie, and they're having a total meltdown up there and cut each other out and losing their
like
ever-loving minds.
broadcast.
And then he's like, "Oh man, are we on hot mics?" And they weren't, but it happens. Anyways, I'm coming back out. I was just checking in with Rubella and getting water. I'm almost. Okay. I need some break. I can go get them. I will do that. Looks like there's a storm building, so maybe we'll get lucky and get rain. I know, but maybe today's different. It might be different. It's pretty dark. All right, sorry guys. You get a little insight into my life. I still have 3 people on here. You guys aren't bored yet? Jeez Louise. I'm impressed with y'all. I have to give a big shout out to Brubella, my wife. She's letting me brew today. So, she's amazing. My wife is amazing. All right. Whew, it's hot. I gotta take a break on the beer. I don't know. That storm might miss us, but I hope it rains. Because then that's one less chore that I have to do. All right. Okay, we're going to put our Citron Mosaic in. We're going to get those ready. We might have to do one more IPA for a competition. I'll have to see. Oh. All right. Oh. Give me a second, y'all. I know it's Saturday. Feel free to leave. You guys do not have to be watching this at all. Because I'm sure it's beautiful wherever you all are at. Because you know what? It's summer. Still. As long as it's summer, we're golden. All right. Another thing I use, which, I mean, I think it's been back and forth about what people choose to use, whether you use it or not, but hop socks or muslin bags, basically, to hold the hops. Kind of just holds it all together, because once you put the hops in, they expand and then they just fill in, and this just kind of helps you kind of get all of it out. When I've used the actual hop flowers, I have used these before. I think last time I used them, or last time I used the hop flowers, I didn't have these, and so I just had to strain it. So just make sure you strain it really well. So with the hop pellets that I'm using today, you don't have to strain it as much, just because it's not going to plug the bung hole. I know you're probably laughing, bung hole, bung hole. But that's what it's called. It's a bung and a bung hole. Let me show you. Okay, bung hole is a real term. I'm about to show you a bung hole and a bung. This is a bung hole. This is a bung. It plugs the bung hole, and then this is where you put the airlock, so that you don't get oxygen into your beer. So that's what a bung hole is. And there is a bung and bung hole. Now you know what a bung hole is. Cornholio, I have no idea what that is, so I can't help you there. So we'll have to ask Mike Judge about that one. Be like, yo, Mike, what did Beavis mean about cornholio? Which, it's funny, I'm gonna totally reveal my age here, and I'm not worried about being old, but it's kind of funny because I used to stay up till like 11 o'clock every night just to watch it. Okay. Sorry, I'm measuring right now. Okay, who all says measure versus measure? I grew up in the South, so it was always measure. And then I got picked on because people were like, why are you saying measure? It's measure or measure. So let me know. For those of you who are in Monticello, right now, Monticello, Indiana, and you're watching this. Is it measure or measure by your standards out there? And for those of you in Germany, and Yoshi, if you're still on, if you, what do they say, or how would you say it in English out there? I've got all these leftover hops. I think I'm gonna have to do like a crazy hopped IPA just to use them all, because I don't want to waste. I'm gonna call it Chimera. All right, so my hops are measured out for the proper time. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to add Wurf block tablets. In a Wurf block tablet, measure. Rob, I appreciate it. I like it. Measure. Okay, measure. All right. Oh. Whoa. Okay. Measure. Okay. Anyways, here's our Wurf block tablet. This is what we call a fining agent, and I don't remember exactly what's all in it. It's supposed to go in 10 to 15 minutes by the end of boil. It's what we call a fining agent as well as a coagulant. So there's Irish moss in it and some other stuff. Again, I don't remember exactly what's in it, but the Irish moss becomes gelatinous. And when it becomes gelatinous, it starts to collect all the particulate from the grain and the hops. And when it collects all that particulate, it sinks down to the bottom of the beer. And that's what helps clarify the beer. Now, at a big scale brewery, like Copacetic probably, you have a filter. So you're running your beer through a filter, and when you run the beer through a filter, it just clarifies the beer from there, and then that's how you get the really nice, crisp, clean looking beer. But on a homebrew scale, Wurf block tablet is where it's at. So, oh, it's hot. I owe Brubella, and after this, I owe her. Little man's sleeping, so that's good. She's able to get a few things done, but for those of you who are new dads, like myself, or soon-to-be new dads, I have advice for you. Do whatever you can to help your wife out and protect her rest, because they're the only ones that can feed right out the gate. Eventually, you can do bottles. We started doing bottles a little early, but even then, they just told us once a day to do bottles, maybe twice a day, but no more than that. It's a lot of work. So moms out there, you guys are troopers. You guys are champions. For those of you who are going to be new dads or are new dads, just be that champion for your champion wife, okay? That's all I gotta say about that. I'm sorry, I'm eating. I always do this at some point in time in my stream. So, what I say the mash temperature was, I gotta write that down. I think it was 151. So, remember on the mash temperature, I was talking about how important it was for temperature during the mash. It's also important during fermentation, but we'll talk about the mash right now. So, what happens in the mash with the grain? I never really explained it to y'all. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'll explain it. Those of you who have been here from the beginning, you know. But here's a reminder. So, what we're doing in the mash is we're converting the starches from the grain and the sugars. And we do that by heating up some water, and we steep the grain in the water. And when we steep the grain in that hot water activates two types of enzymes. You have beta amylase and alpha amylase. Now, when it comes to beer body, full body is something very sweet, kind of thick tasting, that kind of thing. And just when you drink it, it's just full. That's full body, and then you have medium body, which is partially sweet, partially dry, partially crisp, clean, that kind of thing. And then you get to the light body, which is very clean, crisp, dry, that kind of thing. Lager, Pilsner, Kolsch kind of thing. So that's what you're getting with the full body, medium body, light body. It's all based on temperature. So what's happening is you have these two enzymes. Hotter temperatures have a tendency to activate more alpha amylase than lower temperatures. Lower temperatures they activate the beta amylase. Now you have these starch chains, which the different proteins, alpha amylase and beta amylase, they start to break down. So when there's more alpha amylase proteins in the beer, they break down the starches into what we call complex sugars. So if I were to draw a picture, it would just be, you have a really long chain that's a starch chain, and then you have an alpha amylase, and it breaks it up into 3 longer chunks, which are complex sugars. Those complex sugars cannot be eaten by yeast, and therefore it adds to the sweetness and the body of the beer. Whereas if you have beta amylase, which operates at a lower temperature, they break those chains of starches into smaller segments, or smaller or simple sugars. And those simple sugars can then be used by the yeast or eaten by the yeast. And that's what provides a light body that makes the beer nice, crisp, clean. Oh, so hold on. Big spider. Okay. It's a cellar spider. We're good. We had, a couple years ago, we had a brown widow infestation. I'll tell you what, it was a thing of nightmares. I think we killed, specifically crushed and squashed 180, and then we sucked up probably another 100 or more, and then we sucked up their eggs. Brown widows versus black widows. Brown widows, I think they're just a tad bit less venomous than black widow, but not much. But they multiply way faster. So, intense. Anyways, so alpha amylase, beta amylase, there you have it for the mash tun. That's what's going on. Change the scenery a little bit. 12 more minutes. So I have 31 minutes to go. We might actually have a storm. I really hope so. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, that's a big one. I hope it makes it. All right, I'm gonna be right back, guys. My buddy, the guy who's getting married, is asking about the kegs right now, so I'm gonna do a quick measuring of the kegs. All right. What's a half circle? That's radius, right? A full circle is diameter. Okay. Yeah. Diameter. All right. What do you call it? All right. Sorry, y'all. Trying to do multiple things at once. Trying to get some exercise. Have you guys ever heard of the term motion is lotion? I just heard about it recently. If you keep moving, it creates lotion. And it keeps motion happening. If you stop moving, you don't have any lotion, and then you turn into an old person. That's the basic gist of it. Keep your things moving, your limbs, your arms, everything. I can attest to it because normally I walk a lot, go on hikes a lot. I walk airports. I just go everywhere all the time. And the last 2 weeks, I've hardly moved, and I've never been more stiff in my entire life. Not to mention, I got a little baby where I'm just like holding this arm, and I realize that my shoulders are up like this. I'm like, oh, he's sitting there crying, and I realize I'm just stressing out. Come on, man, just chill. Don't wake up mom. We're trying to protect her rest. Oh, baby. You know, if I had 2 babies, can you imagine? Oh, baby. But I figure, once his head gets a little bit stronger, I could just hold him like this and just do baby curls. And then I'm going to get some sick guns. That's the whole goal. Anyways, babies. Have babies. You'll sleep less. You'll be happier. You'll leave a legacy. You'll get lots of cuddles. What else? Oh yeah, you'll get muscles. Muscles without trying. Like babies will give you muscles. Like, it was amazing. It's amazing. Oh, also, you'll lose weight because guess what? You forget to eat yourself. You're like so focused on keeping this little kid alive, little baby that's the sweetest, cutest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. So you just forget to eat, and then you just lose weight. It's amazing. It's amazing. Tell you what. And then when he's sleeping, you should be sleeping, but you won't be sleeping. So you'll be super, you'll be very productive. You get things done. Or then you're gonna get more tired, and then a couple days goes by, and then you crash, and then you sleep without realizing you're asleep, and you wake up 8 hours later, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't help out my partner raising this kid. We're gonna get a storm. Sorry, I have to measure one more thing. All right, cool. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. We're ready. We're back. I don't dance very well. 5 more minutes. I'm gonna close this real fast so it doesn't rain inside my car. All right, 5 minutes till the next set of hops. 5 minutes after that, we're adding the wort chiller and the wort flock tablet. And then 10 minutes after that, we're adding our last set of hops. And for those of you who are new to my channel, if you like to talk beer and love the conversation, join a Discord server. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Twitch. So it's just the Speakeasy Brewer. That's YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. You can get on there. We talk beer. We take photos of the beers we're drinking, that kind of thing. We just have a good community of good people talking about fun things. All right. I gotta keep Brewbella in the loop on things. Whew, it's hot, y'all. Tell you what. Normally I do more beer reviews, but like I said, I got a kid right now. I can't be doing that much drinking because I got to make sure I'm able to drive and do stuff should an emergency happen. So I'm having to cut back on some things, but it doesn't stop me from brewing, I'll tell you that much. We might do a mini stream. Big Juicy Cat Dump Truck recommended that I try a cocktail. He sent me a cocktail, so I'm thinking what I might do is I'm going to be doing some beer reviews, beer tastings, and just going through the beer judge certification manual in general. And that's more for like competition type stuff, okay? Or a really good foundation for like, you're like, I want to brew a stout. What's a good baseline for a stout? That's a great way to do a baseline. But at the beginning of that manual, they say, have fun with beer. Beer shouldn't be one of those things that are like very like strict. Create your own styles, create your own flavors and recipes and things like that. But in terms of competition, you have to have some standard for competition. So that's what the beer judge certification is working on. That's the whole point of it. So I would love to do that. I'd love to become a beer judge at some point in time. I think that'd be a cool little certification add to the end of my name. Airline pilot, beer judge, and master brewer. But so I might do that as well. But I want to work through all the styles of beer. And we're going to go through like the history of the beer, the flavor, the styles, everything. We're just going to go through the entire thing, find beer that style, and then we're going to drink it and taste test it and see is it to style or not. And we're going to have that slight bit of like, obviously, if it's not to style, it doesn't mean it's a bad gose or a bad stout or bad amber, because again, we're using something that's designed for competition. And there's always that free form, which is just amazing. So, and that's the way it should be with beer. Beer is supposed to be fun. To me, beer is art. It's getting dark, so let's do this. So, to me, beer is art. So, I mean, it's all about what sort of experience do you want the people to have when they drink your beer. I have one beer I really want to try. I was going to call it Winter Wonderland, and it was going to have spruce tips in it, and it was going to be a stout with a little bit of mint in it as well. And I wanted it to, like, when you drink it, I wanted it to have that cooling effect on your palate, as well as kind of like that piney flavor that kind of almost gets into your nose. And I wanted it to taste like you're walking in like a Christmas tree farm in the dead of winter at nighttime. That's what I wanted to shoot for with it. So that's the thing, like when you're coming up with your own beer styles and in your beer recipes, like have a story behind it. Why did you do it? What were you trying to evoke in terms of emotions and memories and just the experience? Because I think that's so huge. You know, when I did the Dune themed beer, you know, for those of you who know Dune or have read the book or even watched the movie, like I was trying to evoke having like a true spiced beer from Arrakis, you know? So I used cardamom and cinnamon in that beer, and it was fantastic. I had one neighbor It was her favorite beer. She drank it all in a month. I had a lot of bottles too. But every time we had a hangout, she was like drinking a handful of them. Okay, that's our timer to add our next set of hops. Next set of hops are going in now. This is our flavoring hops. In 5 minutes, we're putting our Warflock tablet in, as well as our wort chiller. Whoa, whoa. My phone just sent me an alert. Let's see what it said. Moderate rain starting in 20 minutes. You know what that means, y'all? It means my chore may not have to happen. But they're saying strong thunderstorm with pea-sized hail with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. About to get stormy. I hope it rains a ton, though. We need the rain. All right. Sorry, I'm almost done with my pretzels. So, here's our wort chiller. Some copper tubing. And we'll run cold water through. So we're going to replace the hot water that's in here, or was in here, with cold ice water. And we're going to run that through here, it's going to sit inside the pot for the last 15 minutes, and that's going to help sanitize this wort chiller, because again, it's going to cool the beer down. Once it gets to a certain temperature, then bacteria can start to survive in that beer, okay? So it needs to be sanitized. Another thing that's great about these wort chillers, especially with the copper ones, is it adds a little bit of copper to your beer. So, and it's a good thing. So, we're gonna be adding that here momentarily. Let me put you over here, because a handful of things are gonna happen here in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Plus, I want to eat my last 2 peanut butter filled pretzels without you watching. Okay, y'all. We're getting close. For those of you who are still with me today, I appreciate you being here. I hope it's fun and educational and entertaining. I think the next beer I want to do, obviously I said I wanted to do an IPA, but I want to do another stout. I've got a beer competition coming up, and now I've got a baby, so I may not have time to do that, but we'll see. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find time for everything. Okay, we have 40 seconds. At the beeper, we're going to add the wort chiller and the Warflock tablet. Yeah, that might be a direct hit too. I'm kind of excited about it because we might not have to water after all. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a pretty big storm. Thunder Theo? There was Thunder. Thunder Theo. Wow. You guys, this is wild. Thunder Theo, that's what we call him. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Putting the Warflock tablet in and the wort chiller. And in 10 minutes, we're going to add the last set of hops.
And
hold on.
It's hotter in here than it is out there.
I know, it's so hot.
There's Thunder Theo.
Thunder Theo. Exactly on his birthday, we got another thunderstorm. It's been every 7 days.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Mesmerized. What are you looking at?
I don't know.
The garage door is so exciting.
Yep. We have new spiders in here, by the way.
Spiders.
Cellar spiders. I saw one up there, and I saw another one down there early. Yep.
Thunder Theo. I like it in here. Look at that.
He's got like a narwhal blanket. Narwhal.
Narwhal. I thought they were whales. I kept calling them whales. Thunder Theo.
I mean, it looks like whales because you can't actually see the little thing.
Cute. Alright, let's do that. But you like that light.
Yeah, he loves the light.
Loves the light. He's like a little bug.
Hello.
Take me to the light.
You have hiccups? Oh, cute. He's got hiccups. It's so cute. I don't know how often babies show up on Twitch streams, but Brew Baby is going to show up at least once every time. Yeah. Yep. You wanna take over for a second? Just say hi for 2 minutes. I got 8 minutes. I'm gonna go get him. Be right back.
Sorry, friends. Don't know if anybody's actually there, but Austin had to go grab our dog from the neighbor's house so that he doesn't get rained on and then get all muddy and roll around in the mud with the neighbor dog. So, it's so nice to have a community around us where we get to bring our dog over to someone else's house and then they can take care of him for a little bit, get his energy out. It's nice. I don't know what we'd do without all of our friends and neighbors. Good. Thunder Theo, whoa, whoa, Thunder Theo, we got our own song, Thunder Theo, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so you want to. You guys hear that? Probably not. Yeah, it's kind of like a deep thunder.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I had to go get the dog. Sometimes I wish I could just like jump on and have that cool jazz voice and have something really cool to say, but I don't have anything cool to say. That's all I gotta say about that. I am very hot. It's funny. It's like in the summertime, it's extremely hot in my garage. It gets up to like 105, 110 on brew day because it's extra humid in here and it's 95 outside. And then in the wintertime, it's like 10 degrees outside. And in the garage, it gets up to 30 and it's super humid. And I actually made a cloud, I think it was April, maybe March. It was like 20 degrees and it was snowing outside. So I had the garage door closed. I had a heater on in here, and then I had this thing rolling, and it was so humid in here, everything was dripping, like the ceiling was dripping. It was crazy. And then I opened the garage door, and then it all turned into a cloud in here. It was crazy. Like this whole part right up here was all a cloud, and it was just blowing out because it got so dang cold. But it was so hot and humid in here. It was nuts. Anyways, so yeah. So that's the difference. It's, you know, the shoulder seasons, that's where it's at. Okay, 4 minutes till the last hop additions. And my buddy is probably on YouTube. I do a bad job at, I should probably have that on my phone. Let's just see if anybody's on there right now. I haven't said hi to anybody on YouTube, so. I'm moving up in the world though on the Speakeasy Brewer in YouTube studio. Let's see. I gotta go see what's happening. So 0 comments, no viewers. That's one thing, y'all. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to penetrate that market as the YouTube market. I don't know. I know these are long streams, not the most exciting. We have great conversation. And then we have a baby show up, and everybody loves babies. And then we have a dog that shows up, and everybody loves dogs. And then we have my wife that shows up, and everybody loves rubella. So, but I don't know. I feel like I'm still figuring out the whole Twitch stream thing. We're getting close to being done, y'all. I promise. 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. 7, 8 minutes. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Yeah, I do. I just want it to rain. Does it look like? If it rains, then we don't have to water. I know. I can hope. I can dream. And I'll clean Coda too before he goes inside. That's okay. He can do that. That's good. It's good for him to do. Just stare into the wilderness. Okay, y'all. We're almost done. We're almost done. I'm gonna do a full spray down. I'm gonna do a full spray down. Sorry, we're having conversations about the dog who's with a friend, neighbor, and got totally dirty. Anyways, okay, so those of you guys who are still watching, thanks for being here. We're almost done, I promise. If you guys are still watching at Copacetic Brewing, if you're watching and actually paying attention, awesome. If not, no pressure at all. But please give a cheers for me to Dr. Hoppenstein, who is the owner. I believe he's the one that's operating everything today and running the show. So give him a cheers from the Speakeasy Brewer. I don't have a beer right now, but I got a little bit of something left in here. So cheers. And that's to Dr. Hoppenstein, as well as all of you Copacetic Brewing patrons. We are almost there. It's like the last minute of the boil that we gotta really watch things. And I got to make sure it's perfect because it's going to a wedding. Okay, last set of hops are in. We got 5 minutes to go. Okay, this has been great. It's been fun to have it. Some new people. Got one new follow from Hedgehog Wombat. So cheers to you, man. That was a big one. I don't know if you guys heard that one. But yeah, we got one new follower, which is fun. First time chat as well, which was way cool. It was good to have Yoshi back, and obviously I haven't streamed a whole ton lately, so Big Juicy Cat, Rob, Tion, it's great to see you all. Dr. Oppenstein also, thank you. Thanks for the stream inside your brew pub. That's pretty cool. I feel really awesome. So hopefully it wasn't too boring for y'all. But we're getting close. Let me just show you guys what our boil looks like. It's really almost done. That's where it looks like. We'll go back to the live stream because I think if I'm going to end this thing, I want to end it with the Mexican, the bandito. So you all can see what that looks like before it's all gone. Because it's going to be all gone, hopefully tomorrow at the charity event. So here we go. That's what it looks like. Oh, you can't even see. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this. There we go. Look at that. Nice clear color, yellow. Doesn't really work that well, but you know what I'm doing. This is our Mexican lager. You did? Oh, here comes the rain. Yeah, it's right above us. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's right above us. I hope the rain comes. Man. It is. It is a great, it is so good. I'm so excited about it. And honestly, it's, okay, so here's the thing about kegs, especially the one that I have. So this keg that I have in with the Mexican lager, it's got a really long hose. And so I got the beer that's been in the hose for the last week. It's just not that great. But once I run the beer through, it's really good. So it's just one thing that I've learned over the last month or so, that I have to take like the first runnings. So tomorrow during the brew day, I'm gonna do my own personal $10 donation to whatever, which will be in addition to what I normally do, and that'll be me taking the first runnings of each beer so that everybody gets the good beer afterwards. So that's the plan. We're washing all the new ones, and again, if you guys are interested in pint glasses or anything like that, I will make them available to you guys if you want, and we'll get them to you somehow. Somebody did say that there is like a Twitch merchandise store, which we can do, but I also heard that it's a little bit more expensive and a little bit more time consuming for you guys. So you just let me know what you want. If you don't want anything, that's totally cool too. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I mean, eventually we'll have like stickers, we've got coasters, we're gonna have pint glasses, we're gonna have bare hands. That's an ask from Swine Hunter. We're gonna have growlers, hats, shirts, gloves, underwear, socks. What else can we make? I don't know. Full face covers for robbing banks. If you're gonna rob something, you might as well be sponsored, right? I'm joking. Joking. You're right. It's not gonna be enough rain, is it? We'll see. Oh, well, that's good. Good. I'm doing my captain pose because it just feels more comfortable, feels more natural. And that, my friends, is the end of our brew day. For you, but not for me. I'm gonna go sit. But that ends our brew day, y'all. The boil is done. The hops are done. Perfect timing. I'm gonna go watch the storm a little bit. Let this beer kind of naturally cool off before I actually really cool it off. But it's been such a blast. I would love to keep streaming, but honestly, the cooling part is not cool. um, so, anyways, uh, and thanks to Copacetic Brewing and Dr. Oppenstein and all y'all for showing up. So cheers. I will see you all hopefully sooner rather than later. I might even do something tomorrow just to let you guys see what's going on here with the stream. I'll just run it and you'll just see what's going on. So I probably won't be talking though to you all, but you can at least see that the event's happening. But anyways, thanks so much for joining me today. Hope to see you all soon. Until then, be adventurous, stay thirsty, speak easy. Cheers, you all.